And welcome, everyone, to Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. This is episode 111. We are live on YouTube. I just saw it. BV confirmed Facebook, and we are live on Twitch.
Can someone confirm we have audio?
Yeah, someone tell us we're talking.
I think we got mics. I got mics going on.
If you watched our mime interview last week, where
I didn't also flip the camera. God, I suck at this.
Facebook has audio.
Yeah. Facebook has audio. We are good to go. Now, before we start this week, Charles, we're going to preview next week because we finally found the holy grail of mac and cheese. We have the Cheetos flavoring. I had to drive to Cincinnati, Ohio to get it, but I have the mac and cheese. And on top of that, we're going to have two special guests with us next week.
Well, what mac and cheese? You never...
Oh, I'm sorry. Cheetos.
Yeah, you just
Cheetos. Well, we've been talking about it for 2 weeks. So Cheetos, and then Cheetos jalapeno and Cheetos flaming hot. So we're all going to try a variety pack of mac and cheese next week. Hopefully my daughter could chew and swallow by then. I don't know, but
she's jacked up.
So 2 16-year-old girls will be joining us as well. My daughter, Holly Markey, and Fatima Gutierrez will be with us.
Jeez.
She, a friend of Holly's, will be on the podcast as well. They got a big surprise for everybody next week. On top of that, Holly's going to recap getting her wisdom teeth out and how she looks like Bob Maxwell right now.
Friend of the show, Bob Maxwell.
Friend of the show, Bob Maxwell. So that's all next week. But right now, we're going to head into this week. And before we start, I want to say, had a good time, Charles. I went for a cruise. I'm going to give some advice to our listeners here.
A Chevy cruise? Or
I told Gabe what that means. So if you take a 4-hour ride and you're bored and you got nothing to do, put on the Fat Guys Little Podcast on your Android phone or iPhone. That's what I did.
Did you help Gabe to use his phone?
No, I didn't. I didn't bother. But went down to Cincinnati, saw Gabe Wigington, how he's doing. Shout out to him. Had a good time. 2 grown men sat around playing Call of Duty in the living room. It'll lead to my review later of my portable PS4 case.
Yeah, so you guys play typically with a 4-man group when you guys do your COD or Call of Duty.
Call of Duty Warxzone.
Warxzone, okay.
And for those of you who aren't...
Go ahead. It's you, Gabe. Oh, Steve's blowing up. It's Gabe calling to make sure you...
616. Isn't that Bill?
Oh, BV.
Bill, you calling me?
No,
it would say his name if it was actually him.
It says scam likely underneath.
Yeah,
616 is like Lansing, I think.
Oh, I don't want to talk to anybody from Lansing.
Listen, man, talk to... It could be Gretchy. Maybe she's going to change the rules.
So anyways, we go down there, and we play Call of Duty. Now, Warzone...
Who's your 4-man team? You never...
it is myself, Gabe Wigington, Tyler Elkins. He's been on the podcast.
Show, yeah.
And Eric Von Pagel. He may be on the show.
That's a very regal name.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Good guy.
I used to like him in wrestling.
All 4 of us are graduates from Annapolis. Eric possibly will be on the show. He's an X-ray technician in Novi. He's been wanting to be on the podcast. So probably have him on.
Tyler's welcome to come back whenever
Tyler
he wants
anytime.
to.
Well, he's got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah. He's a busy man.
Busy man.
Those police badges don't make themselves.
So back in April, everybody went into lockdown, right? And so Gabe bought a PS4. He hadn't had one for a while. And he bought Madden and Call of Duty. So the 4 of us been playing Warzone since April.
Okay.
And Gabe went out and he set a date for us. By the end of summer, we need to finish first in Warzone. Now
It's their battle royale clone.
Yeah.
Where starts out massive map as teams
eliminate,
eliminate, we shrink, we tighten up the action, tighten it up. And you guys have been playing nonstop for several months.
About 3 days a week, about 2-3 hours a night.
You guys have been very dedicated to
it's a lot of fun because we can bullshit and catch up with each other. But yeah, so and then essentially there's 50 teams to start. You want to be the last team standing. Is essentially what it is. And we have come so close so many times.
You said a lot of 2s, 3s.
2s, 3s, top 5 like 20 or 30 times.
Wow.
Never could get that one.
Do you get a Chivo for finally
I don't
winning?
know. We were so excited I didn't even know if I got to go back.
You turned off your console before it registered?
We're playing at his house, right? We got to set up almost like a LAN party. I got one TV, Gabe's on another TV, and Tyler's back here at Dearborn Heights on his TV.
Okay.
And we're playing.
Where's Eric at? Was he in the game?
He had to work that day, so he didn't get that.
He missed the...
Well, him and Tyler... Now, here's the thing that happened.
Oh.
Friday, before I left to go to Gabe's, those 2 were playing. I was at my last day at home. I had to spend some time with the wife and kid.
Yeah, you act like you're a family man.
Yeah, all of a sudden. And Gabe was out that night, so me and him didn't play. Those 2 won on Friday night.
Experience
so they were
joys.
already texting and rubbing it into us that we're chumps. So Sunday during the day,
so what
playing.
we're learning here, folks, is a lot less people are playing Call of Duty Warzone at this point. So the competition has dwindled down, and now they're able to get. I'm joking.
Out of all the online games, there is moments where you have to wait, but not Call of Duty. There's people on that 24/7.
It's a great game.
I imagine Fortnite's the same way too.
Yeah.
But
unless you want to play on an iPhone, and that doesn't exist.
So for them they rubbed it into us all day Friday, all day Saturday. By Sunday, me and Gabe were getting dejected. Like this, Tyler's playing with. We're down to the final two teams. We're running.
Geez, set the mood.
We're in a building. We're at a building. We're at the top of the roof. The circle's shrinking on us. What happens near the end is the circle starts jumping to eliminate more people. So you got to jump. In Call of Duty, this version of Call of Duty.
So basically they can push you from one zone to another.
Yeah.
So if you're hanging, let's say 5
you just
zones,
can't camp
you
at
can't
this
be
one
in zone 1, they'll move the circle, so you got to get to zone 2. Or if you don't move within a certain time.
The gas kills you.
Yeah.
The gas closes and kills. So we're on top of this apartment building. There's only 2 other dudes besides us 3 left. We're like, we got this. Gabe's in a stairway. Actually, 4 guys.
How many guys are alive on your team?
3 of us.
Okay.
It was three-person teams.
Okay.
And then there was a team rushing up the steps to come get us. Gabe camped at the top of the steps, mowed 2 dudes down right in the head.
Oh,
bah!
geez.
It's pretty, because I'm outside the door in case Gabe gets killed to kill who's ever left.
Yeah.
And all you hear is the gunshots going off. You're like, Gabe, you alive, bro? And he just bursts out the door. It's like, I'm alive, dude. And then the circle shrinks, and we have to jump off the building. You get parachutes on this, so you can jump off any building and go to the circle that's open. So we jump off. And we start chucking because the gas is coming. And there's a dude in the grass behind us, sneaking up behind us. I see him. I turn around, pop the dude in the head.
You run and gun and got the guy?
Yeah, I spun around and popped. I usually miss by a mile, but I popped that dude. All of a sudden, the screen goes black. We're like, fuck, we died, dude. And then a banner comes up, sole survivors, and we won.
Oh.
We jumped up, middle-aged men in the middle of this room, high-fiving.
Oh, my
We're
God.
like, yes! We were so excited.
Is it? It sounds to me.
It was
like
4 months of work shot in 30 seconds. Thank God.
It sounds like top 10 material for video game fun of all time.
Yeah,
it sounds pretty awesome.
Especially online for me because I don't play a lot online.
Yeah.
So this is hands down the best online experience.
Yeah.
It's up there when me, you, and Brandon used to play Halo all the time.
Yeah, those are great too.
Yeah, so this was up there. And then Gabe says that we're like exhausted now. Gabe's like, that was better than sex.
Spent.
He's like, that was better than sex.
That's good.
And the best part is on your player profile you get a card. And that card only unlocks the certain card only unlocks if you won. So we got to put up that special card up on ours. All 3 of us got the card. Of course, Tyler now he's won twice.
Oh,
well,
so he got like a double card.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm two-time champ.
Oh my God.
So it was just fucking great. We got smoked the next 2 games because we didn't care.
Matter,
We already won.
You got that high.
Yeah, it's nothing worse than something you're doing for 4 months and you just can't do it. It's so frustrating, and then you finally do it. And it's like, holy shit! I just happened to be at Gabe's house when we finally did it.
That's super cool.
It was pretty funny. So there you go. There's some middle-aged dorks. We finally schooled those 12-year-olds that have been schooling us.
I don't know. Did it make all the time worthwhile? Or was it that bittersweet?
Even if we never won, it was still fun because you get to bullshit with everybody.
Yeah.
There's nights where Holly comes in and she's ripping on everybody from Annapolis and stuff. So it's like the wrestling team, and Tyler's getting offended. So it's always funny.
Yeah.
We've always had a lot of fun. So it was a good time. Now that Eric wants to get all 4 of us and win the 4-player one, so that's our next goal. But I'm not going to push it. We got our one.
Baby steps.
Yeah. But Cincinnati was a lot of fun. We went to City Bird. Like I told you before the show, it's like a hipster's KFC. That's exclusive. Got my cheesecake factory. But it didn't agree with me the next day mixed with metformin. Let me just tell you, when you take metformin,
I'm well aware
if you eat a lot of sugar the next day, you blow it out pretty quick. Unfortunately,
BV, you have those issues?
Usually I don't get to wait till the next day. It usually makes me blow it out within a couple hours.
Well, it hit me the next morning.
BV doesn't get any grace period. It's right to work.
No, none whatsoever.
So, but it was a lot of fun, and since it was a lot of fun, I had a lot of good time, and now I'm back here, unfortunately. And I came back.
It's
Monday.
back to reality. It's all downhill.
And then Monday was the wisdom teeth, and we'll cover that next week with Holly, so she can tell her story. All right, so now let's go back to some depressing stuff, and that's COVID. So due to COVID, Annapolis, we always kind of cover Annapolis and what they're doing because that's where my daughter goes. They're handing out free Chromebooks for all the kids, who can't afford their own Chromebooks.
Well, a lot of districts are. A lot of districts are going to what they call like 1-to-1 is what my wife, the educator, describes it as. That basically they go through and double check that they have enough Chromebooks for severe Chromebook shortage that's happening in the world right now and everything. So a lot of districts are running behind and trying to scramble to figure out what they can do. Plus the Chinese manufacturing was way behind with the COVID-19 stuff, and it's just a kooky time right now.
What kind of contract did Google cut with these school districts to make all these the Chromebooks?
Yeah, and you think about it too. Like, it's not even just the Chromebooks. Like, the whole like online education platform is all like Google based. Like, a lot of it is, man.
Yeah.
So they just got to be raking it in right now.
Yeah, collecting now. So now to go along with this was last week. There was a guy. I'm sorry I didn't write his name down. He's the head of the Michigan High School athletics, and of course, as we covered here, the football has been canceled until spring.
Yeah.
Now he was on talking about swimming, cross country, and volleyball. Now, for sure, swimming's 100% going because you can space out. Chlorine kills a lot of stuff.
I think that there's a lot of sports. I think the one that I will, and I know your daughter doesn't want to hear that. I don't understand how they can do volleyball. I get the cross country.
The guy kind of explained it. So
I get the tennis. I get swimming. All those make sense. Explain to me the volleyball.
So the 6 girls that you're going to be with are girls you're around all the time, and allegedly you're supposed to be clean or whatever.
Okay.
And you won't touch or talk to the other team. They'll be more than 6 feet away from you on the other side of the thing.
So in theory, any random strangers will be
away
distance,
from you.
a social distance.
Yeah,
away.
and now volleyball also, I don't know how much you follow it, but after so many games, they flip sides and then flip chairs. I imagine they won't do that now because
they're just going to keep you on your side.
Stay on your side.
And frankly, I never understood the point of rotating a lot of that stuff. There's not much of a
in
difference.
Tennis, I see it because you're outside and the sun might be in your eyes.
Yeah, different
but
thing
volleyball,
there. But in indoor sport, when you
yeah.
have controlled conditions, is a little weird.
So as of right
But
now,
then again, maybe there's a Bob Maxwell of volleyball who can tell you why.
Yeah, the angling.
Yeah.
I don't know. But volleyball, cross country, and swimming in the state of Michigan now are going through. Now, football is going through still in Ohio, according to Gabe. He is a coach down there. So you still will get football in other states, just not in Michigan. So there you go. And the Big Ten is still closed. Even though
they protested.
There have been protests, there's been parents. But now, Bill, have you heard anything about Illinois' high school sports? Are they going? Do you know off the top of your head? You don't have kids, but I was just wondering if you might have caught it on the news.
I have no idea.
Yeah, Bill don't give a shit about kids.
He's got his finger on the pulse in Illinois. What is your take on the Big Ten going crazy about not having a season and stuff? Any thoughts on that?
On
BB?
those parents and stuff.
I'm not surprised, but kind of put your selfishness aside for 20 seconds and use some common sense and shut up. Essentially, it's the way I feel about it.
Well, BB's a joy to be on the podcast. Shut up.
Now, in some lighter COVID news, there's a guy, I don't know if you watched the video that
I
it
did.
links to.
Yeah.
So this guy built a gun. You put the paper mask in
It's
it.
got weights on the ends of it.
Yeah, from about 5 foot away, you could wrap a mask around someone's face. I thought that was kind of clever. Obviously, it's not very practical. People probably be pissed off if you shot a mask with bolts on the end of it to someone's face.
Like wrap someone in the face. Yeah. I got to tell you, one of the biggest ones that's going on, Heather has got a hard on for these people that don't cover their nose with the mask. I could just see her counting them as we walk through the grocery store and stuff. Like, really? She just is all the time. Something about it. She's just like, just pull your mask up. Just pull, like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know what it is, but it's much like your weird quirks and stuff like that. She has a weird quirk towards these people not covering their noses.
Pull up your goddamn mask.
Yeah.
So that's just a fun one. You guys can check that out. He's on YouTube. He's all over the place. Probably seen him by now. Now, last week, before, this is a little bit older news, but so colleges were getting back into session, right? And this was last Thursday. This is prior to when I left last weekend. So I'm watching it, and a lot of college parties happen Thursday and Friday. Mm-hmm. So I'm watching news Sunday morning, and they're already claiming that all these college parties started COVID, and there's a lot of cases from it. So now let's do the math here, though. If a kid's out on Thursday till 3 a.m. partying or whatever it is he's doing in college, And then he passes out and he's half dead all Friday, not moving or anything. How many of them do you think actually went down and got tested for COVID right after that party? And how did these schools know that immediately that all these kids had COVID from this? That's the only thing I kind of questioned. It's like, that's an awful fast turnaround for a college kid who's not even probably going to go to the doctors. It's like, how do they find this out?
Yeah,
I was kind of questioning that the other day.
It's weird because, like, right now as a society, we're looking for, like, weird blaming and all this kind of stuff. Like, if you don't, just shut it down. I don't know. Like, what are you going to do? Like, stop trying to figure out if this one's bad and that one's bad. Shut it all down if you have a question about it. I don't know.
And not to sound conspiracy theorist or anything like that, but in Kalamazoo, there was a group called the Good Old Boys. Are you familiar with them?
No, but it sounds extremely racist.
You're exactly right. They are a right-wing, all-male group that's kind of racist and right-wing. And they clashed in Kalamazoo with Black Lives Matter people, and giant brawls broke out in Kalamazoo.
Okay.
Hundreds of people fighting. And that didn't see many masks in those news clips, but no report of COVID from that. I'm just curious how there no COVID from that, but there's COVID from a kid drinking a beer getting laid. I don't know. But I just thought that was interesting. There's two things I caught on the news.
I saw a couple of things that were talking about, like the weddings, or as you went to the one up north and everything like that. Weddings are a huge scourge on a lot of Yahoo articles I read. Is weddings are the new big one. That's
so the college parties now are under control. Now it's weddings. Oh man! And then bars they don't like, and they still don't like gyms.
Yeah.
So
any changes as far as what's open and what's closed and with you, BV, in Illinois? Any changes this week?
Yeah, actually, a couple counties, including the one I live in, the rates of infection went over 8% for a certain number of days in a row. So they've dialed back. They've taken away, at least I think for 2 weeks, inside dining. Bars
there's a lot of that here where they kicked a lot of inside dining stuff. A lot of folks are doing like weird outdoor seating stuff.
Yeah, so they've kind of taken a step back there on that front. And in the county I live in, and then another one that's further south. But for the most part, I think COVID rates are kind of creeping up, but some areas are a little bit more problematic than others.
Crazy.
All right, so we're not going to dwell on COVID too much. We do it each week. So
I mean, there's a pandemic and the world's all about it, but
yeah, I mean, you can hear about it everywhere else in the world. Why let us bore you with it?
Plenty of people that come to us for their information.
I can tell. So let's go to sports. NHL playoffs. Charles, have you watched any games?
No, I've caught some basketball.
I've caught basketball too.
The shine is just off on that one. I gotta tell you, like. Nothing. So, did you guys watch like the Lakers Portland game, the weird Kobe tribute game that they went up 24-8? It seemed super fake to me. I was like, "What is going on?"
I missed that game.
I don't want to say that it's rigged, but what? Like, are we serious right now?
They coincidentally went up 24-8.
Wearing the black Mamba outfits and stuff like that.
What'd you say, Bill?
It was fake.
It was fake.
Yeah, I think it was fake with a K is what I think it was.
Well,
I'm just calling shenanigans a little bit. That's all.
Before we get there, let's talk about some hockey now. But
we're so educated. We stumbled our way through last week's playoff roundup.
Well, the first round is now complete, and they're into the second round. So let's recap some of the first round here. The Vegas Golden Knights pretty much 4-1 over the Chicago Blackhawks. The Colorado Avalanche beat Phoenix 4-1. Dallas took care of Calgary. I went blank on that. 4-2. Vancouver beat St. Louis 4-2.
Again, we're so good at these NHL rounds.
Philadelphia beat Montreal 4-2. Tampa Bay over the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-1. New York Islanders in a surprise kind of over the Washington Capitals 4-1, and Boston took care of the Hurricanes 4-1. No real close, no close series there in that first round. So now the second round started. The Vegas is up 1-0 now over Vancouver, the Golden Knights. Dallas up 2-0 over Colorado. I did watch the Dallas-Colorado game the other day. It was pretty
how
good.
Was it? Yeah,
it was pretty good. It went back and forth. It was a pretty close game. Dallas pulled it out. I have not seen Philadelphia at all this year. Philadelphia is down 0-1 over the New York Islanders. So that's a surprise. And this is the one I watched down at Gabe's house because he's a big Boston fan. They won They're 1-0 over Tampa Bay. They were up 3-0 and gave up 2 late goals and gave you sweating a little bit. But they won 3-2 over that one. So
then how was the game to watch? What is your opinion? I mean,
I thought the Colorado-Dallas game was pretty good. I thought it was close. It went back and forth.
Are you liking their bubble format?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I'm not a super huge hockey fan, but it's good so far. I don't know.
NHL hockey. It's good.
It's good. I mean, you don't get no fights or real big hits or any kind of. It misses some intensity of the crowd and the drunken idiots in the crowd beating the ice and stuff like that. But it's kind of every sport right now, right? So, but we will cover because we got a SummerSlam roundup. I got one for you, and what the WWE tried.
I was a little bit abreast on that because I like old boy. I like Pat McAfee or whatever.
Yes, I'll cover that too.
He's a very entertaining individual.
Yes.
His show's very good. You should probably turn us off and go watch his show.
I listen to him all the time.
He's very good. His show's very entertaining.
So that's a little recap of the NHL. We'll cover each round. I try to watch some games. Right now, the only thing interest is Gabe because he loves the Boston Bruins, and they were number 1 seed before this all began, anyways. And then they got reseeded once they did the round.
Well, and again, very periphery on hockey. The Avalanche are supposed to be like the ipso facto team that everyone thought because they got some star on the Avalanche. I don't know. We're banging out this NHL roundup big time.
Now, the basketball I've actually watched, Charles has watched, and we know a little bit more about this. So the Los Angeles Lakers up 3-1. Now, I watched that first game, and Portland smoked the Lakers.
Correct.
And I was like, Lakers are number 1 seed. This is terrible. But then the Lakers woke up and just has smoked the hell. Yeah. But then also the main star for Portland sprained his finger too. I can't think. What's his name, Bill, on the Portland?
Damian Lillard.
Yeah, he sprained one of his fingers.
He hurt his knee last night too.
Oh yeah, they're done. It looks like they're probably over with. But then the Houston OKC is
a lot
tied
of people
2
are saying
games
he's the
each.
best player in the game too right now.
Damian Lillard.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that.
Yeah, so Houston, OKC, Oakland. They're
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, yep. Oakland. I say Oakland.
BB needs to do this roundup.
I know he really does. So they're tied 2-2. That's a pretty good series going back and forth. I really don't like either one of those teams. Are you a fan of either one? I don't like Chris Paul for some reason.
I hate the Rockets. I really can't stand the Rockets.
They don't play defense. They just fling things up everywhere. Utah's taking care of business on Denver, which is kind of a surprise. I thought Denver was a little better than that, but I guess not. Now. The Clippers are a 2 seed and Dallas is a 7 seed, I believe. This is probably the series to watch. I did watch this one. The last game ended on a last-second shot from the guy from Dallas. Who is it, Bill? Djokovic?
Luka Doncic.
Doncic, yes, that's it. The time running out pops the goal to win. It was a pretty good game, actually. I watched that whole overtime. So the score went back and forth constantly. So the winner of that game that's probably who's going to play the Lakers. Now the Milwaukee-Orlando series, I think Milwaukee woke up. Orlando won that first game, but then Milwaukee woke up, and now it's probably all but done. Miami smoked Indiana Pacers. I don't know what happened here. Too much Jimmy Butler for them, I think, and Pacers just couldn't score. So they lost. Boston smoked the 76ers.
The Sixers bounced their coach.
So badly. The Sixers are rebuilding. Don't believe in the process. Apparently that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And then Toronto, this wasn't really, everyone knew that the Brooklyn Nets were going to get destroyed. Now, here's the interesting fact, though. Toronto wants to sit out the first game for the Black Lives Matter movement and stuff like that. They're not going to, that was on the radio today that they're going to do that. But then the NBA said, well, we'll just reschedule your game. So that's interesting. I thought that was on the news today right before we got here. So that's a little look at your NBAs. Right now, I see Lakers and Clippers in the finals there. Milwaukee, I think, is just going to run through everybody in the East. I don't see anybody. Bill, do you see anybody in the East beating Milwaukee or possibly?
Maybe Boston, but probably not.
Yeah, the Greek Freak he's on another level. So there we go. So as a look at your sports, and then we're going to have a little look at wrestling is back this week. Take a little bit of a look at that later. But right now we have a taste test.
Yeah.
Today, Mr. Bergeron from Talking Real Estate.
Your camera's live, so go ahead and show that out there.
Here it is. This is the Mitten Made. This is a local guy, Scott told me. He has a website.
If it's made by a local guy, that looks very professional.
Mitten Made Pickling
Company.
Steve
has no good. BB, can you loan Steve your
glasses?
Picklingco.com.
PicklingCO.com. Pickmade.PicklingCO.com. The CO.
BB got the picture of it.
Yeah, the C looked like a G there. That's why it was hard to read.
He found the picture.
But so this guy is local. So Good to him. Scott gave this to me. My daughter has tasted it. Holly said she loved it. She likes spicy things. Michelle hated it immediately. I gotta tell you.
So I have a pepper opinion. I am not a fan of a habanero pepper, not because of the heat, but because of the weird bell pepper taste to it. It's a weird heat with a bell pepper vibe.
You don't like bell peppers?
I like a bell pepper, but not with a heat. I'm not a fan of a habanero, not because of the heat, but because of the taste of it. A lot of people are like, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to ask what the Scoville was on this.
It's got to be pretty decent. It's a habanero. Has it got the Scoville on it? Let's see. Steve can't see it because of his old man eyes. Yeah, so it's made. So Mitten Made Pickling Company's out of Wyandotte, Michigan. So I can read this. Steve can't. It just says heat's medium on it. It doesn't really get too crazy.
What's the name of the company?
Mitten Made Pickling Company. Unless, Steve, you want to read that? Because you can't.
The G and the C kind of blended.
Old man eyes.
That's got a little kick to it.
It says medium. Steve brought us some little round tortilla chips. We'll give it a shot on here.
I'm a big fan of habaneros.
Do you? I'm not a fan.
I
much prefer a chipotle or a jalapeno.
You can taste a little bit of the pineapple. You can taste a little bit of the heat. Give me another
That tastes pretty good. Yeah,
that's pretty good. So
I got to give a thumbs up to
if you're in Michigan, support the local guys.
And not a fan of a habanero typically because, again, the taste level.
But blended with the pineapple and the heat,
that's
it
kind of kills hot sauce.
Yeah,
that would be really good on a wing or something like that.
Yeah, or mixed in with a salsa.
I can see why Holly dug that. Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, and then I can take it home and let her eat the rest of it.
Yeah,
she can't right now, but she will eventually.
Yeah, when her face unswells. So, and I'll point into the camera here. So, Mitten Made Pickling Company, Sweet Heat, habanero, pineapple, and mango. I'm going to say that me and Steve both are going to give this a thumbs up.
Yeah, too bad you couldn't try this, Bill. I think
I think you'd love it, BB. That's top notch, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there. I like it a lot. So I'm going to try some of these guys. Maybe on a future podcast we'll have different flavors and stuff that he has. Bill, you have the website in front of you?
No, I was just.
I was wondering if you looked up his different flavors.
And maybe whoever gave that to Bergeron's welcome to come on the show and talk about their habanero hot sauce too if they want to.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, they have.
I'm glad I cut to BV just staring.
Well, no, I'm searching for what they have on their website.
Not super hot. It doesn't. I don't think it's got too high a Scoville.
Just enough.
You
know what I would put that in? Even though my wife said was.
Okay.
We make a lot of homemade guacamole, but it never has any real heat to it.
Okay.
Put some shots of that in there. That gives a heat to that guacamole.
I'm going to give that a solid thumbs up.
Yeah, that's a good hot sauce.
And you got that from the Bergeron team. The Bergeron team dropped that off to you and everything like
Talking
that,
Real Estate's Wednesdays at 7.
Yeah, make sure
you'll see him on there.
And
his extra medium polo shirt.
Yeah, check out that polo shirt. I'm not doing much better. But yeah, Mitten Made Pickling Company. That's tasty stuff.
Very good. Local guy, Wyandotte. So give it a try.
Not super hot.
So we're going to talk this week, Charles. We're going to talk about some stuff. Both of us were busy on Netflix. We've also
I watched it a little bit. I went down some rabbit holes with BV and stuff like that, like some rabbit holes, some YouTube stuff I was going to talk about.
Yeah. So, but I did get in a couple new, besides my Call of Duty journey that I've been on for 4 months, I do get in new games. And, of course, we said many times on this podcast, I have the Xbox Game Pass, which is also on PC, which is where I played this.
Brand new. Put up your logo so if anyone wants to find you on there.
Yeah, come on down. We'll mark you 313.
Yeah.
This current game, Battletoads, is multiplayer co-op, so you can play with me. We can play the same stages. This is done up like if the guys from Ren and Stimpy made a beat 'em up. That's what the animation looks like.
Okay.
It's very cool.
So Battletoads is a 90s game that was
made by
big,
Rare, and it was
and
super hard.
Incredibly hard game.
Yeah, I haven't run anything too hard on this one.
Okay.
Excuse me, I'm burping up hot sauce.
Yeah.
But for most part right now, it's just a beat 'em up. There's one stage where you ride a bike, and then there's another stage where they get like menial jobs, and like you got to stamp papers and stuff. It's pretty funny. A lot of humor in it. It's a lot like old Ninja Turtles. So, a lot of slapstick humor. The three frogs are ripping at each other all the time. The only thing bummed me out some of the cutscenes are just like boxes, like
Oh,
look
they
like
broke up like old text and stuff like
yeah,
that.
that's a little. I mean, they still voice acted, but they
That's a
didn't
little
lip sync.
rough, yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
the
know
game.
about that
I guess
one.
if you bought the game brand new, it's only $20. So
Yeah,
it's not
I mean
like,
that worked in the '90s, but at this point, geez.
there are some cutscenes where their voice. So like they did some lip syncing, but not all.
That's a weird cost cutting.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer. Maybe keep it a couple extra months and do the lip syncing. That'd have been nice. But as it is, it's a standard beat 'em up. You walk through each frog. The bigger frog's obviously the more tankish kind of guy. The other frog,
yeah, they all have kind of one's a little sleeker.
Yeah.
It's like an old Mario 2 kind of thing. Like, do you want an all around Toad? Do you want a heavy? Do you want a light, fast Toad?
Yeah, so it's not a bad game. Like I said, it's free on Game Pass. I give it a solid 7. I didn't win it. I've made it through about 3 stages so far. I heard it's not very long. It's only about 3-4 hours long. So that's another reason if you don't have it on Game Pass, there's no point in buying it. But it's very nostalgia. Streets of Rage 4 that came out, what was that? Probably 6 months ago when I played that.
Like that, yeah.
I'd probably like this one a little more because there's more humor and you do a little bit different stuff like riding a bike and stuff.
Streets of Rage is literally you're just walking through.
Yeah, and it's the same moves over and over again. So Streets of Rage got old quicker than this one does.
Yeah.
So, and if you're a big Battletoads fan from the 90s, I don't know how many people are, but
People really do have a soft spot for that game, I would argue.
yeah, and it looks like a 2D animated cartoon when you're playing. Okay. Unfortunately, the cutscenes don't because it goes, just shows a box.
Yeah.
So there you go. Battletoads out on Xbox Game Pass, on PC and Xbox One. Play it today. I recommend it. I liked it. But it's not going to blow you away. And then the next one. Now, this next one, Charles, this is called Fall Guys. Have you seen the previews of this?
No,
It is up there. Bill's got a little picture of it.
I was going to say, I saw the cartoony look, but I don't know much about it.
This is huge right now. It's $20. It's on Steam, PS4, Xbox,
Pretty much any platform.
Switch.
Yeah.
I got it for $20 on Steam. That's where I'm playing it. You got those little chibi guys. They look almost like minions almost. And as you play,
kind of like a Lemming vibe kind of thing.
No, it's like Wipeout. Remember the game show Wipeout?
Yeah.
Essentially, it's all online. So there's 60 players. You play, you wait till the thing fills up. There's 60 of your little chibis down here, right?
Okay.
And it's a big obstacle course. And out of the 60, the first 40 to make it go to the next round. So you're racing against all these other chibi guys.
Sounds pretty good.
And you got to jump through doors. There's slime pits. And
So you gotta kinda
there's big balls that come down.
That you're trying to time.
Yeah, it's not really. Yeah, it's some platform, but it's more like just run and get there quickly. But shit's gonna smack you around as you do it.
Okay.
So it's a lot of fun, and it's very simple controls. You just run or jump. That's it.
Oh, okay.
So there's nothing really to master or anything.
Huh.
And so you keep going round by round by round.
And it dwindles down.
The last person left gets the crown and wins.
Did you, Gabe, and Tyler make a pact to be
No,
first?
no. Holly has.
Yeah.
Holly has become
Okay.
obsessed with it. She loves the game because you go, why? It's popular on TikTok. Tons of kids on TikTok are posting videos.
Does
of
it have
this.
a physics-based thing to where it launches your gun, you bounce off something?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And it's even remember that one Wipeout where you stand on a platform and it's got a big
The timing thing, the sweep
goes around.
arm?
It's got one of those.
Oh, okay.
So the 30 of you little chibis are trying to jump over this thing, and you run into each other. It's a lot. I think Lorna would love it. It's so simple and basic, but then I found myself playing it for like an hour. I've made 4 rounds. It's usually 5 rounds is the end. I've made it to the 4th round, closest I've come. Holly's made it 3, and Michelle and Fatima can't make best first round.
Wow. How many different obstacles, if you will?
There's about 12, I would say, and some of them are team based. So you made the second round. There's 40 of you. They'll put 20 on one team, 20 on another, and they'll give you 2 giant soccer balls. And the team that scores the most goals goes on, the other team gets eliminated. So sometimes that's what always screws me. I get to the 4th round, I get put on a bad team,
and then you're toast.
and I'm toast. And then there's another game where they put a tail on you, and if you press RT, you can grab people. So you got to grab a tail. When time runs out, if you don't have a tail on, you're gone. So it's almost like it's a lot of fun. It's
sounds
very
good.
very clever. And of course, as you go, you unlock new outfits. Like one guy's a little hot dog, you can get a French fry outfit.
Okay. That's how you kind of customize your little chibi guy.
Yeah, your little chibi guy. So yeah, Fall Guys, it's a sleeper hit. People are loving it.
Who made it? Do you know?
I have no idea who this company is.
Okay.
Brand new company started out. It's just fun. It's a lot of fun. They look like little blind bag, like little characters you would buy at Target or something.
Yeah.
Like Lorna would get hooked on and have 100 of them.
descriptive,
Yeah, they're just little bean-looking guys with arms and legs. Like Bill has the picture up. Addicting fun. Just fun. And then you get pissed because it's so simple. You feel like you should be.
Wait a minute. How am I not?
How am I keep losing? Yeah, so
is there ultimately one champion at the end of the 5th round?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
okay.
Yeah. And of course, the further you make it, the more coins you get. The more coins you have, the more stuff you can unlock.
Okay.
Like right now, I got like a pigeon outfit and then the baseball player outfit.
So it's basically just cosmetic stuff.
Yeah. It doesn't give you no advantage or anything like that. So
sounds fun.
Kids love it. Family loves it. Everything else.
Next
now, Bill, I got a question for you.
Oh, jeez.
Have you ever had a big, tall glass of breast milk?
No, of mother's milk.
Mother's milk? Did you say that was good mother's milk?
Yeah, that's a negative.
If I told you if you drank a big glass of milk and did some push-ups, you get mad gains?
Mad gains.
If you drank some breast milk?
That's gains with a Z, right?
Yeah. Would you consider it then?
How would I get this mother?
Oh, they explain that in this documentary, too.
So, now last week
brutal.
I covered Unwell. Unwell is 6 episodes. I watched the essential oils one. And then I watched the breast milk one and immediately text Charles because it was so insane.
Dude, it's crazy.
So this is a 40-minute documentary.
Well, hold on. So it's a 6-part series. Unwell is a 6-part series where they go through and they debunk, or not even debunk, they kind of give you both sides of the coin of a holistic
alternative medicines.
Yeah, so
yes.
And this particular episode was all about the myth or whether or not the pros and the cons of drinking breast milk, a human breast milk or mother's milk again, because there's a creepy dude in it, and whether or not you see any benefits as an adult is basically what they kind of went into.
Yes.
And they profiled this creepy Southern guy. So Steve texts me midweek, and I'm like, okay, I much like BV, I like to know what's going on when we talk on this show. It doesn't sound like we prepare. We try to. I don't know. We're a shit show, but anyway, nonetheless. So I watched this thing. This is atrocious. I don't know what's going on. So this guy,
the show's not atrocious. What they're doing is atrocious.
Because they're. So basically, it starts out with a chick who is like a super milker. This chick is making. To Steve's point, we talked pre-show. I mean, this chick is making an obscene amount of women breast milk.
She did mention she has some sort of disease that makes her do that. I forgot the name of the disease.
I don't know. Creepo. I don't know what's going on. It's just super crazy.
She can't stop lactating. I mean,
yeah. Well, she does have a little girl that's like 3 years old, and
the one kid was 6,
and her other kid's 18. So it was real weird.
Dude, I don't know why I answer my phone when Steve texts me and stuff like that.
But you watched it, didn't you?
Yeah, and then so they went from her into another mom who was saying how she'd like to donate stuff, but it costs her a lot of money to donate breast milk, apparently, because you got to buy the supplies and all that. Yeah, and then it went into this guy who's trying to make gains, and he's this creepy hillbilly, BB, and like. First of all, if I told you, like, here's an amateur bodybuilder, like...
He was so pudgy for an amateur bodybuilder.
He had no muscle, and it was making me so crazy. As someone who loves strongman and all this kind of other stuff, I'm like, how much you bench, dude? So, like, this is unbelievable.
He's probably mid-30s now. And then he has pictures from when in his early 20s where he was kind of ripped.
With the mom of his kid.
Yeah, so he was kind of ripped then. So he's trying to get back to that.
Like, he was ripped, but he wasn't like worth like creepy buying breast milk off Craigslist and stuff like that. Dude, and then and again, the documentary, not subject matter notwithstanding, did a good job of saying the other side of the coin. So then they went to an epidemiologist who discusses with this weird trend of these people buying this breast milk and how dangerous that could be because it's kind of the Wild West. To BV's point, if tomorrow Steve's like, I need a gallon of breast milk, where does Steve get that? I know he's got luscious breasts, but I don't think
my own breasts.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to produce fast enough.
Damn it.
So again, I think that their job of storytelling was stellar with giving both sides. And then they went into Mongolia and the mentality in the Mongolian culture of breastfeeding their kids very late in life and how important. But then I kind of hit Heather with, I think if I had a choice between eating most Mongolian foods and sucking on some chick's boob for milk, I'd take the boob milk than to have a Mongolian's food. So I don't know. So creepy. I don't know, Steve. Do you have anything to add? I'm checking out.
It was pretty. So to answer your question, Bill, he got it on Craigslist. So he answers an ad on Craigslist. This woman, she meets him at a coffee shop with a cooler full of breast milk,
and he acts super creepy.
And he acts
into
super
it.
weird while he's sitting there.
He's into it.
And then
man.
the thing that surprised me, he only paid her like $40.
Yeah. So here's this chick with this like special cooler and all these supplies, and he's giving her 50 cents an ounce for boob milk. I'm like, dude, I don't know.
And then he takes the milk and puts it in a protein powder, and it shakes it up and drinks it. So he works out 3 hours in the morning and then 3 hours at night after work.
Yeah, 6 hours.
And they follow him a month later, and they're like, "Oh, he's lost 11 pounds." Anyone's going to lose 11 pounds working 6 hours, working out 6 hours a day.
And you just spent the weekend with him. If Gabe doesn't work out 6 hours a day and is in better shape than the dude was,
Gabe's in better shape than that guy.
Yeah, I'm like, what is going on?
What the fuck that was?
Like, dude,
if I just didn't eat carbs and didn't drink pop for a week, I could lose 11 pounds in a week.
Yeah, exactly.
For somebody working out 6 hours a day, 11 pounds in 3 months is nothing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless that's only because he's put on about 50 pounds of muscle.
The weird part though is, so next week's taste test is going to be breast milk.
Breast milk mac and cheese.
BB, you got to get on Craigslist.
On Craigslist, yeah.
Craigslist breast milk is going to be
is Abby producing right now? I don't know. I don't know what the rule is.
Negatory.
Oh, okay. So
I don't know. I don't know what to rate it. It's like the show was
I think
decent.
the documentary does a good job, I think, of showing you both sides, which is what any good documentary does.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows that these documentaries all have agendas, but at least it did show you kind of like, here's the dangers of it, no real benefits of it, but here's a creepy dude doing it. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And again, back to the positive of it too. They also showed that one bank that's in San Jose, that the creepy guy with the prostate cancer, but the mother's milk bank that they're part of is doing a great thing for like premature babies and all that kind of stuff
for women who can't produce.
Yeah, if you had a kid,
there's logical scientific reasons for it. Not some asshole pumping irons at the Planet Fitness. What the fuck?
I don't think he's at Planet Fitness. I don't know what's going on.
I think he's just watching Netflix.
He was pissing me off so bad.
He was fucking creepy, dude. If anything else, you guys got to watch it. Just to see this guy.
No, you don't. Don't recommend
Curiosity will catch the best of you. I don't know how to rank it. I'm going to finish the other episode. I want to see that bee episode. That bee episode has me intrigued when people are stinging themselves with bees. And I'm not sure why, but they are. But all right, so that's Unwell. And then there's 4 more episodes to go. I don't know. That's a pretty creepy episode I sat through. Next, I saw this show. Have you seen this on Netflix called Tiny Creatures?
No, I have not. To be honest, I don't even know what this is. So you have to school me up on this one.
I love a good nature documentary. I always have. You bought me the Planet Earth ones. Remember
Planet
when 4K?
Earth is great. Planet Earth is great.
So that's what this kind of looks like. It's about in Phoenix. It's out west, and it's a kangaroo rat, little kangaroo rat. It's a little mouse. It looks like a hamster with like kangaroo legs, and it jumps everywhere. It's got a long tail. And it's a little story about this kangaroo rat and his mother, and how they make it through the desert.
Is it like Meerkat Manor, where we almost? Like
I've never seen Meerkat Manor,
but I think Manor? That they oddly like have you follow a village of meerkats. Is that kind of the same vein?
Yeah. This has a story to. I looked it up afterwards and found out it's all a show. So it's actual real animals, but the guy who made it used to make commercials and stuff. So they bring in animals like there's a rattlesnake. And like the rattlesnake, he brings it in, he films the rattlesnake, and then like it eats the mother, but you don't see that. It just like the rattlesnake's here, and he does it with dramatic music and stuff. So it's more of a TV show with live action animals. So, but it looks good. It's very beautiful. You with the 4K delicious, it's a very vivid, clear picture and stuff like that. It's very unique, and it was very odd because I didn't know what I was watching. And I was like,
"This is the most lukewarm sideways thumbs up I've ever seen."
It's hard to if you know what it is going in, you probably feel a little better. But when I was watching, I thought I was going to watch a nature documentary, and it ended up being like this weird show. And then Michelle was getting
into it when you were like, "Wait, this isn't what I thought it was." Like, it was 2 episodes.
It was a half hour long, so about 15 minutes. And I'm like, I don't know about this. And Michelle's getting more mad. She's like, this is bullshit. This is all fake. This is CGI. But wasn't because it was too clear.
It's like, but it's weirdly staged. It sounds.
Yeah, it's weirdly staged. So it's a hard thing to do.
It's the Duck Dynasty of nature documentaries.
Yeah, so
we give you a loose premise and then let life happen.
And there's other episodes, but I only made it to the one. I don't probably think I'll watch it alone. So.
This sounds super lukewarm.
So that's probably a 5.
Yeah,
you know.
5. Okay.
If you want to see some animals in high def, especially out west, like a rattlesnake,
or if you get that
raven,
new 75-inch TV and want to drive that boy.
Yeah, I'd say look at it. They're very beautiful animals, but real weird. I was like, I thought I was seeing a nature documentary.
BB, can you explain to me what we just listened to Steve describe, please?
It was very hard for me to describe it. To be
BB
honest,
has no clue. He's just like, I don't know what the fuck
it was
Steve's
a
talking
live
about.
action.
I've got nothing.
Yeah.
It's a live action show with animals.
Me and BB are super confused.
Just if you take anything away, take away.
So it's like the circus.
Yeah, but it's not as I can't explain it. All I can say is you want to see 4K beautiful animals, watch it. But other
or watch Planet
Animal Flash
Earth.
Mob.
yeah, or watch Animal Planet that I had the DVDs too. Now this next one, I'm usually not a big fan of this guy,
I like him, though. He can be funny.
but I really liked this stand-up. I know it's on your favorite service, Amazon Prime.
Which means I can't watch.
Jim Gaffigan, the Pale Tourist. Now he took a vacation / tour of Canada, is what he was doing. And he spent an hour just roasting Canada with different things.
Like the stupidity or like the weird quirks that
how
they have.
he's like, Tim Hortons to you are like stop signs to us because you got them everywhere. And, that's guy. He had a better delivery at it than I did.
get you. Yeah.
And then there's a city in Canada named Regina, and he just ripped on that forever. So it was all.
It's not Regina, it's Regina?
No, it's Regina.
Yeah, he goes. It's just a city of perverts. It was pretty good. And then he's talking about a moose. He'd never seen a moose in real life. He goes, "They're the biggest creatures I've ever seen." So he was very funny. I usually don't like the guy, but I thought he was funny. I liked the whole thing because it was so different. You don't see an hour of a guy ripping a
Observational
country.
humor of Canada.
And it was in Canada, and they were all laughing and having a good time with him. So Jim Gaffigan, the Pale, now he must have a big contract with Amazon because he's got like 6 specials on Amazon.
I think so. I think that these comedians, what they do is they oddly, kind of like Netflix and stuff like that, they'll sign like an X amount of show deal, and they'll even get like their back catalog. So like Sebastian Maniscalco and Bert Kreischer are all in on Netflix. Jim Gaffigan's all in on Amazon. It's kind of that whole thing. They're just trying to sign that talent. I think Whitney Cummings is like an HBO person. You kind of get these
HBO's
different.
player,
you get these different ones. So,
but as is, I give it about a 7. And I mean, he's no Dave Chappelle or anything like that, but it was pretty solid.
I think Jim Gaffigan can be. He's kind of that Ray Romano, like not really too deep, but
He
like,
really does feel like he should be on a sitcom.
yeah, and that's kind of the vibe. He's not going to get out there and like. Really start telling like some D&P jokes, but you know what I mean? Like he's gonna, So
Bill, have you ever seen Jim Gaffigan? You watch a lot of stand-up.
Yeah, he's okay. I mean, he's funny. He kind of has like I wouldn't have put Ray Romano to it, but I see he's got that kind of like dopey personality.
Yeah, kind of like the dad
Kind of a
vibe,
self-deprecating
kind of thing.
Definitely
type.
dad humor, yeah.
I don't know. I have no issue with Jim Gaffigan. I think he's pretty funny.
All right, Charles, now you went to YouTube of all places.
So So BV often describes his
Down the hole.
the rabbit holes. So
Fucking Alice.
I still when I move the iron or pump the iron or clang and bang as is often, I still get the.
But do you drink breast milk before you do that?
No, I'm not getting the gains that I need to.
Yeah, okay.
I still get a little bit of elbow pain. I've kind of we've discussed kind of that tendonitis that I developed when I was hunting that heavy bag. I can get why Bob is still that brace does a great job as I described that ace brace, but when you start to put some weight to it, it's uncomfortable. There's no other way to describe it other than it just kind of gets uncomfortable. So anyway, long story short, I was looking for an elbow sleeve. Then that took me to a guy named Mark Bell. Mark Bell does all this like crazy, super heavy duty squats and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, his brother is named Chris Bell, and there's the 3 Bell brothers. There's the 3rd Bell brother that you guys might know as wrestling fans named Mike Bell. Have you guys ever heard of the name Mike Bell? He was like a jobber in the early to mid 90s.
That does sound familiar.
BV, does that ring a bell with you at all
No,
by chance randomly? It shows you how big of a jobber he is. So his brother Chris Bell went to USC, and he made a couple documentaries. So that you can kind of connect my rabbit hole dots, if you will, is all the reason why I'm telling you on this one. So he made 2 really good documentaries. One's called Bigger, Faster, Stronger, and the other one's called Prescription Thugs. And what he does in these documentaries, I watched them for free on YouTube, but they're legit releases. He goes through and he describes steroids in the first one and kind of like how all those 80s stars, my favorite Arnold and all this kind of stuff, how they were all kind of hypocrites talking shit about steroids, but they all did them. And then like how as boys grew up, you wanted this ripped physique. You drank the breast milk hoping that you got this ripped physique, and you never really got it because everyone in the world was juicing that stuff. But then, like, he does a good job in this documentary of also saying, like, everyone wants to, like, vilify steroids, but there's really no true cause or no, like... So my point would be to the breast milk guy, just go out and get some juice. All right? That's all I'm trying to say. And this documentary is fantastic. Just kind of describing it, and he talks about Mike Bell, the one brother who was in the WWE. The one
Did he wrestle under a different name?
No, Mike Bell was his name. Yeah.
Oh wow. I don't know.
Looking it up now.
All I can say is, you guys do yourself a favor and watch these documentaries for free on YouTube, because if anything, as you guys as wrestling fans, both of these documentaries with the brother has a lot of tie-ins to professional wrestling. They talk about the steroid abuse and use, and then Hulk Hogan telling you to eat your vitamins and all this kind of stuff. Meanwhile, he was juiced and all this kind of stuff. Very great documentaries, both of them. And then
now, what is Prescription Thugs?
Prescription Thugs, the same brother who is always chasing fame in the WWE, gets hooked on painkillers from the WWE.
Seems like they all did.
What's the other guy? They talk to him. They have a couple friends that Schuler was the one guy's name that he also got hooked on painkillers through Mike Bell in wrestling, and they chronicle so much of the drug abuse in wrestling is why I bring it up to you both today as two fans of wrestling. I think that you both would find it super fascinating, like how he ties in his own family struggles with all the prescription drugs and with the steroid use in these two documentaries. And like I said, for free on YouTube, it was 3.5 hours of my life that I was totally entertained by it and stuff like that. I got to tell you, I do have an affinity for strongman stuff and all that. Like, the steroid stuff, I just, it doesn't bother me. I don't know if you guys have an opinion or whatever
it's
it
like,
is.
To me, it's like smoking. You're an adult. You know what it's going to do to you. You do it. You do it.
Yeah, and like I said, I want to see people just jacked and yoked doing some of this stuff. I don't know. I'm totally entertained by these people that can deadlift 1,000 pounds and stuff like that. It is an amazing feat of everything that they do, and these two documentaries just were fascinating to me. If anything, like I said, for you and BV, just check them out for like the wrestling trappings and all that kind of stuff. But these are both solid, like 8 out of 10s for me, because I've talked about on the show how much I love documentaries nowadays. It's the only way I learn. So check them out. Bigger, Faster, Stronger, and Prescription Thugs by Chris Bell.
I did fall down a YouTube hole. It was goddamn Norm Macdonald clips.
Norm Macdonald's a fascinating dude. I love Norm Macdonald.
He has a big segment on COVID.
Do you watch that
in
show
March.
on Netflix? God, that show on Netflix. I was so bummed when they didn't bring it back.
He is so out there and bizarre, but funny as fuck. It's ridiculous.
His delivery is impeccable.
Yeah.
I love
because you have
Norm
no idea where he's
Macdonald.
going with it. It's like, where did he come up with that?
Yeah. It just keeps
And then when
going.
he started with like
You're
the
what?
old stuff, like
I
I was married to an old battle axe. Like him on Conan is priceless.
Dude,
I'm
it's
telling you.
so fun. And then Conan don't know what to do with him and stuff. It's so good.
So I fell down a Norm Macdonald hole. You fell down a
you
documentary
want another
hole.
fun one? Go down a Jeff Goldblum hole with Conan O'Brien too. That's
Oh,
funny
those are
too.
funny, too.
Oh, it's funny stuff, man.
So, Bill, you can tell us about this one too. You've been watching it. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
you've been
sure.
checking this out.
Hard Knocks on HBO. What are you guys doing? What are you guys telling me? What exciting tidbits about the Rams and Chargers have you guys learned in Hard Knocks?
BV, you been watching it?
I have not yet seen an episode.
Oh, damn.
I'm really behind.
Okay. So so far there'll be a third episode that'll come on tonight. So basically they're chronicling two teams this season. They're following the Los Angeles Rams and the Chargers. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of Hard Knocks. I think it's a great show. What they do is typically in Hard Knocks is they profile a handful of rookies as they go through the process of making an NFL team. And then they also intersperse, obviously, the vets and
the stars.
and they give you all the stuff. If you are into football, you have to watch Hard Knocks. There's no doubt in my mind. This season is so weird because there's no preseason. It's all this COVID stuff. And then, like, to watch that stuff, so you're not getting the same...
Almost like a new show.
Yeah, you're not getting the same formula, and that's what I was trying to say. like it is like a new show, to Steve describes it, because instead of giving you a handful of rookies where they're trying to vet them and make the team, now we're watching how these teams are handling working in their operations through a pandemic. Just as fascinating, but to Steve's point, in a different way. It's really totally entertaining stuff. Hard Knocks again, 100%. It's a 10 out of 10 from a football fan's perspective, and even Heather likes it. And it just goes to show you, I've beat the drum many times for behind the scenes stuff. It goes back to, and again, with the bigger, faster, stronger, we only get to see the end product on the television. I'm always fascinated by the journey of what brings him to the TV. It's something within me that Tiger Woods didn't become Tiger Woods just one day and show up on a golf course. He hit balls for 10,000 hours and did all this crazy stuff. That stuff to me is always fascinating. The behind the curtain stuff, I can't get enough of it. And this Hard Knocks delivers in spades, because you're seeing the testing they're going through, how they're making provisions to work around the rules, how the rules are changing weekly and they can't keep tabs on like how they're doing this. And then certain players are coming up positive and they're doing that usual asymptomatic thing as we describe, where it's like, I didn't even know, and all this kind of stuff. Hard Knocks, a huge 10 out of 10. To Steve's point, a different show this season, but still just as fascinating and a great look behind the curtain.
You know what I like about Hard Knocks is everything with the NFL is so sanitized, and you can't cuss, you can't do that.
Yes.
Hard Knocks does peel the onion back a little bit. They can
that's
cuss.
Great, right?
They're real men's men there. They could do things,
Yeah.
Because
you see like them oddly like talking shit to one another and throwing hands, like get the, and then like at the same time kind of goofing with each other and like
because NFL on TV hides all that.
That's what I'm saying. It's fascinating. I love any of that UFC stuff behind the scenes. We talk about shoot interviews on here all the time and how fast you and BV go down those rabbit holes. BV's probably watching one right now at home. That stuff is so good.
I just watched a bunch of Bundy ones the other day.
See what I'm talking about?
Bundy don't pull no punches. He rips on everybody.
It's so
He's
good, right?
R.I.P. Bundy.
R.I.P. Bundy. We started every show.
Randomly asked me why he wasn't in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because they brought it up. I was like, that's right, Bundy ain't in the Hall of Fame. What the hell?
He was right.
He got a beef with McMahon, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Some computer ad back in the day. McMahon
again, BV, as a huge football fan that BV is, he's doing himself a disservice and all this kind of
he'll
stuff.
Watch it all, though.
Oh, I will watch it.
You got to make time this weekend, BV. So episode 3 will be on tonight. So you got 3 episodes to catch up with, BV. Super fast. Again, a different formula, like Steve said, but still a great show. Great show.
All right, now this next one, both Charles and I seen, and this kind of suffers from what The Last Dance for BV or the Tom McFarlane documentary for me is the high score. This is basically a 6-part documentary on the history of video games. Now, if anyone knows me or listens to the podcast, I watch and read and do a shitload about video games all the time.
I don't want to talk over you. I'm sorry to talk over you, but like to derail you, Netflix has been trying to get in gamers. Have you noticed how much gaming content Netflix is kind of like throw it out there and just try? Yeah. And what's funny is they had another gaming series that went through a lot of the same subject matter that this one went through.
Yeah,
and that's
it did.
And I don't want to give BV a pass because I still think he undersold The Last Dance. But he's so annoyed.
He still hates you for that.
Yeah, no. But I do have to say this has a little bit. I can see where BV comes from now. I don't want to give BV a pass, but I will. You kind of, me and you as kind of really deep, we talk every week about gaming, and me and you definitely kids of the 80s and the 90s. We knew a lot of this content. I knew too much of it, and it wasn't any revelations. The only thing that they brought in, and me and Steve talked a little pre-show, they brought in a little bit of the World Championship stuff, which was kind of neat, but it didn't justify a whole new series. I don't know if you thought differently.
No, I thought the exact same thing. There was one nugget, just like the Todd McFarlane one. When you watch those, I go, well, there's got to be a nugget I can catch. There was one.
So we're willing to sit through like 3 hours of content for a
6
nugget.
hours of my life for one nugget. The one nugget I caught, and I kind of didn't know, is old arcade games that were stand-up arcade games. Those 3 young guys who were making almost like DLC for the arcade game.
Yeah, they were
and
basically
then selling
modding.
them. Yeah, without the company's permission, by the way.
There's an episode of That 70s Show where Kelso modifies a Pong machine that they kind of touched into this. And how people
I remember
modded
that. Because Kelso was so good at Pong. And he wouldn't even watch it.
He shrunk the paddles is what he did,
So there's these three young guys with Mod Missile Command.
But you're also skipping over why they did it. They had a couple machines in their dorm rooms at MIT and were making money hand over fist. What they realized is as people
playing.
As people got better, their time on the machine went and their revenues went down.
Yeah, so they modded it, and then they started selling them to bars and arcades, and that's when the big companies got a hold of it. Like, hey,
did you see what the guy who made Miss Pac-Man was the modder?
Was the modder? Yeah, one of those three guys.
Neat,
That was basically the only nugget I didn't know. Everything else I knew. I knew the history of Mortal Kombat. I knew the history of Madden. Where they went on the train with the guy from EA Sports, and the guy wanted 7-on-7, and Madden's like, no, 11-on-11.
It's not football.
Yeah, it's not football. So, and I agree with Madden, which is bullshit because Super Tecmo Bowl came out way before Madden did, and there was 11 guys on the side
but
of the
the fidelity that they were looking for.
I understand, but it's just...
And they also wanted that randomness of a football game. Again, I'm not justifying BV's Last Dance mildness, but when you do know a lot of this stuff, it does kind of. If I came to this, like, if I'm Lorna at 18 and watched it, I'm like, oh man, look at all
the history of video games and stuff like that.
They even went to the console war when Sega came through.
I mean, if you ever watched G4 when it was out, you know 90% of this stuff. With the one nugget, if you're walking into this and don't know any of it, you'd probably give it an 8 and say, hey. If you're two seasoned losers like us, I'm giving it a 5 because there was nothing there.
It's kind of like the Dark Side of the Ring when you and BV would be like, I kind of already knew the stories.
Like you're amazed by it.
Dude, I was super fascinated. You go there like, okay, don't you remember that? No.
The only one of the Dark Side of the Ring that surprised me was the New Jack because I didn't know shit about New Jack. Him stapling dudes' heads and shit was crazy.
They go into some of that Benoit stuff and that Bigger, Faster, Stronger stuff.
Oh, man. So next up, Steve's Animation Corner coming right at you, folks. You didn't think I could find more cartoons. Oh, but I say nay. I did find me another cartoon, and this is with Charlie Day. You know who Charlie Day is?
Yeah, he's from That Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, he's also
very funny guy.
Yeah, he's off of Horrible Bosses. He's a little guy with a beard. He's very fast talking, little like quirky little guy all the time. Hoops. He plays a basketball coach in a high school, and they're terrible. They are literally terrible. Everyone's like 4 foot tall. Everyone they play against is like 6-7 foot, and they're just terrible. He is a foul mouth. Like, he cusses continuously. And some of it is pretty damn fine. I made it through the first 3 episodes. It is 10 episodes. So I can't really rate the series, but I'll rate what I saw. Very foul mouthed, and like he gives his credit card to his team because they tried hard, and they're like, "You promised us Bang Bus," and he's like, "All right." He just lets him. He gets his credit card, and then one gay kid on the team's like, "I don't want to watch Bang Bus." He goes, "Well, here, take my card and get some gay stuff." I don't know. So that's kind of funny. So, but it's very, very over the top, and it's a whole lot of cussing. So.
Is it shoehorned or like kind of a little too?
Well, his
like,
character, that's all
we're on Netflix and we can do whatever we want.
That's my problem.
It's like HBO with the nudity.
I always call it the sausage party problem, where you just go too far. This is only the first season, so I think if they could get a second season in and maybe fine tune it some, it'd be a lot better. Like F is for Family, he cusses when a normal person would cuss or rant. So it's more.
You and I both know my love of F is for Family.
Yeah, F is for Family is a much better show than this one, but this one's not bad.
Okay,
and the animation looks a lot like.
Has it got a Bob's Burgers animation? It looks like.
It looks more like F is for Family.
Oh, does it?
It looks a lot like
Same
that.
animation. Huh?
Yeah, but Charlie Day's pretty funny, but he just. I mean, it's a lot of cussing. I was just, and it's funny at first, but then you're like. Half hour of him just cussing. It's like, oh, wow. And he's supposed to be a teacher, too. That's what makes it funny. And, Ron Funches is in it. I don't know if you know him. That big black guy. He's pretty funny. He's in it. He's the only really other name I know of that I recognize off the top of my head. But right now, it's going to get to Steve 6. I got to finish the season, and I'll come back and tell you later. But if you like raunchy comedy with a lot of cussing, this is your animated show right here. So...
But it doesn't sound too like earth shattering.
No. It's one of those ones where if it gets a second season and they can fine tune it some, it'd probably be really good. Okay. To me, a lot of comedy shows are like that. You see the first season, like even King of Queens. You watch that first season, you're like, I can see where it's going.
It's got to find its footing.
Every comedy to me needs a season to find its footing. Even with The Office, I would say was kind of they were more funny after. Parks and Rec was a little slow that first season.
I know what you're
going.
saying. You got to establish characters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you also got to. It's much like anything. You got to realize when to dial it back a little bit, and it's okay to let it breathe.
So that is Hoops. Steve's Animation Corner. Again, Superman Man of Tomorrow is coming out next week. I will probably have that.
I know where I'll be.
I might wait a week because I can't interview that or review that with the girls. They'd be bored as hell.
BV, what cartoons did you watch this week?
That many, huh, Bill?
Yes, that many.
So, all right. Now, I was talking earlier. I went on a road trip. Now, you ever go on a road trip and you got things planned, and say you're done by 6 in the afternoon, and then you got.
But you take. I'll be honest with you. You take it to a whole other level. Like anytime I've ever gone anywhere for more than like 24 hours, you need a game console with you. It's a little.
Well, I got an addiction.
Yeah. And I got to tell you, as someone who works in the hospitality industry, you're not in the minority. You're in a majority. There's a lot of people traveling now that are taking game consoles with them.
Yeah, because there's a lot of downtime.
Especially athletes.
And well, look at it. I'm an athlete.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at.
I've been drinking all that breast milk.
Yeah, making them gains.
So I always end up with a lot. Even when we went to Oscoda, there was a lot of times where you just sit there and you're chilling or whatever. And you know, because my wife is an activity girl. She has to see all the tourist stuff. But also she has to do it all by 8 a.m. So by, you start cracking shit out at 8 a.m. by 5 or 6, you're done for the day. It's like, one, you're tired. You've been walking everywhere. And two, you've done everything you need to do. And that happened to us when we went up for that wedding. But I was going to Gabe's for the primary reason to play video games. So that ahead of time I knew. But if I would have had this with me.
I thought it was also SummerSlam.
SummerSlam too, but more video games. And I'll tell you why in SummerSlam in a minute. So on Amazon, I got this bad boy right here. I don't know which camera I need to hold.
You're on yours. You're on yours. Yeah, go for it.
It's a waterproof case. Bill's got a copy of it up there. I put in 2 controllers, a headset, all my cords, 2 games, and the PS4 all fit in here.
It looks very professional.
Yeah, and you can put your cords in here. My headset was here. I had 2 controllers here, and it's got a little flap here, and you can put your PS4 right in here.
It's got security straps and everything to keep it.
Very
padding on the thinner side. It seems like it could. Now, did you look at like a hard case and go with the soft case on purpose? Or
I went with soft case on purpose because sometimes even those descriptions, it'll fit a pro, but then you get it in that hard. Yeah, even with this, I had to pull a little bit to get over the edge of the PS4, but it did fit the pro. So that tells me it'll also probably fit an Xbox One. So if you wanted to put it, maybe not that original.
I got a brick,
that original toaster you got, but the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S, I guarantee you'll probably fit in this.
Okay.
So, and again, waterproof, worked good, carried everything perfectly, fit everything in there, everything I needed. Like I said, I had 2 controllers, a headset, two games, and the system, and all the cords I needed, all in one package.
How much?
I loved it. $40 on Amazon.
$40.
Yes. So, I highly suggest it if you're going to go traveling.
Well, I guess here's my thing too, and not to give you whatever, but like it looks very nondescript. So if someone
it almost looks like a laptop bag.
Yeah.
Right?
So if someone's going to lift your PS4 or something, if you have some traveling stupidity or something like that, you definitely don't have to worry about anyone identifying you carrying a game console and stuff.
Yeah, and like if you're in a hotel, most hotels have an HDMI in the back of their,
They should, yeah.
So you can just slap your PS4 right there and play,
Yeah.
You may not have online because I know hotel Wi-Fi can be very sketchy.
I always tell you, I've had to hook many a game console to the internet in our hotel.
Yeah. So, you can play Madden while you're on the road.
I just had a guy, in fact, 2 days ago at the hotel was playing Call of Duty. I had to get him online and everything when I was working. That was Sunday night. I had to get him online.
Probably one of the guys that killed me in the top 5. Screw that guy. But I mean, so I like it. Because I've always looked at those GAEM cases.
Okay.
I think they're called Game, but spelt weird. And they're hard case. They got the monitor, but they're like $300, And I just
you got to be a real road warrior.
Yeah, I don't travel enough. $40, okay. $300,
I get you.
So next year, If I have to go up north for a wedding or whatever I have to do,
you're ready to go.
Yeah, I'll have this with me. Or if I have to go back to Kalahari and I don't want to go swimming, I can just let Holly go swimming, sit in the room, play video games.
And I guess to your point with the type of generic kind of case look to it is it might fit a different console or something like that. It might be a little more universal.
Or even better, Holly wants to go to Cedar Point. I drop her off at the park. I get a hotel room, go back and play the game. Okay. I'd rather play Madden all day than go to Cedar Point. If I got a choice, what would you rather do? So
at this point.
So I'd say it's great. Bill, any thoughts on that case? What do you think? Would you consider something like that? Because you drive up here sometimes. If you were,
I mean, I'm not the type of person that's going to bring a console with me when I travel, but if I were, that would make a lot of sense.
I mean, when we went to South Carolina, I took my 360 with me so I could play the console.
That's what I said. You're
I do it. I'm out of control. Man, up yours. The fucking guy buys $5,000 worth of fucking gym equipment. I pay $40 for a case. What the hell are you doing, you nutcase?
I tell you what, I got some breast milk coming. I'm ready for it.
man,
I'm ready to go.
I got the bees coming, so we can stick ourselves. All right, so now one of the points I went down to Cincinnati, we've chronicled on, we used to have a 3 minutes of wrestling that Charles hated. Even and Bill himself have gotten sick of wrestling. It's just not good quality. The product has dropped. Now they have no crowds. They have COVID. They have all this crazy shit going on. And even before the COVID, it was just losing most of our interests. Big focus on women's wrestling. It was a big focus on bad storylines. And they won't let the actual wrestlers be themselves or put on like a Rock's promo. There's just no fun in it anymore. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is terrible. So I took a break. I quit watching it after WrestleMania, especially after that bad Undertaker mini-movie thing with AJ Styles, even though many people still consider that to be a great thing. And they also consider that John Cena weird movie thing great too. And
the Fiend stuff is brutal.
Yeah, well,
you were with Gabe. I mean, I'm sure he
hasn't watched either since WrestleMania.
Oh, okay.
So both of us. Now he has a friend named Derek who lives down there, and he came over to his network. He still follows it religiously. He still loves it. So he was with us.
Were you guys behind on the storylines at this point?
Oh, yeah. But the one thing good about the WWE is they recap the shit out of everything.
Okay.
So if there was one thing we were missing, Derek could answer it. And even if he couldn't answer it, I mean, they recap everything. Okay. So we weren't really lost. All right. So first up, NXT has a thing called TakeOver. It's like their annual pay-per-view. It was the night before on Saturday. We didn't watch that because he wasn't over. So there was one match I wanted to see on that. It was Pat McAfee. Are you familiar with him, Charles?
Yes, I am. Again, his podcast is amazing. I am a huge fan of his work and all that kind of stuff.
He is a former punter from the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah. Played in the NFL for 8-9 years, whatever it was. And then he went on to become a radio show host. And he's
got the personality for it. He is top-notch on his show.
He's also been an announcer on NXT and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
He's worked with WWE in the past.
Okay. I can see how he translates.
How ESPN didn't approach him for Monday Night Football, I have no idea.
Yeah.
They're so stupid.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's neither here nor there. And I love on a show, though, when he goes, and the millions, and all the guys in the studio go, and millions. Have you ever seen that? It's hilarious.
Yeah. Like it's a great show.
He's talking about some guy's contract, and he got millions, and all the guys in the go, and millions.
Yeah, it's
just like him and 5 buddies goofing off the whole time. AJ Hawk's always smoking a stove. Anyway, we're not here talking about the Pat McAfee show.
It's really good, though.
But after watching,
you watch it at all?
Have you ever watched Pat McAfee?
I haven't seen the show. I've listened to a little bit of it, but
he's got a lot of comedians on there and stuff.
And
he's
a nutbag. Yeah. He does like a lot of sports stunts and stuff. He does like little challenges. Like one time, I forget what the challenge was. It was like a tremendous amount of McDonald's food he had to eat in like 20 minutes. He ended up just barfing everywhere.
That sounds good.
He went to West Virginia. He's a crazy hick.
Dude, it is top notch show.
Yeah, it's.
You gotta get up and walk. Is your Fitbit telling you to
move?
No,
Tyler was texting. Probably might be time for the shooting. I don't know. I have to go shooting tonight. But so he had a match. His first match with Adam Cole. Now Adam Cole, he's considered like the next HBK, and I say that because he's probably smaller than
he's
HBK.
Really small. So again, with my love of Pat McAfee, I tuned in on ESPN to kind of see some highlights. That dude he was wrestling is extremely small.
If I had to guess, Adam Cole is about 5'7", maybe 160 pounds. And I might be being nice. That might be.
Isn't Adam Cole the one announcer guy, too?
No, that's
Michael Cole.
Michael Cole.
That's close. Okay.
Bill, you think I'm close on those stats, though? He's a small guy, right?
I'd give him a little bit more than 160. I'd say he's probably about 5'8", 5'9", maybe about 180 pounds.
I think BB's padding them numbers. He was very small. I think it was small.
Where Pat McAfee, he said on his show, he's like almost 6'2", 260 pounds, but he lost 20 from the COVID, and he's been working out. But he's usually about 260, 6'2".
He's a decent-sized dude.
He's a big dude. Yeah. So the match, I will say...
He was a punter in the NFL.
Yeah, well, and his main move in wrestling is a punt kick to the guy's head. So I thought that was good. He went straight old school heel.
So he was in like that.
He was
like
the heel.
90s raw
It was great to watch.
Yeah.
And it's sad at the same time. And I'm going to tell you why it's sad in a minute. Like, he'd pull a move and he'd be like, he's talking mad shit to the whole thing.
Okay.
Adam Cole was good. He does his moves and stuff. I'm not too familiar with him.
I want to say he's had Triple H a handful of times on the show. And
yeah. He had Mark Henry on last week. Yeah, so
it's a good show.
I love the show.
Me and you were a big fan of the show.
AJ Hawk came down and his three friends, and they got in a feud with Adam Cole's friend. And Adam Cole or Pat McAfee jumped from the top of the ring, did a flip onto all the dudes outside. Okay. I mean, you know when like Lawrence Taylor and all those celebrities come in, they barely do two moves. Yeah. This dude was doing moves like a seasoned veteran. They pushed him off the top rope. He backflipped and landed on his feet in the middle, and then he started talking shit. He was like, he reminds me of Gabe. He's like, oh, fuck no. And he ran up and jumped up onto the top turnbuckle and suplexed the dude in like 2 seconds.
You sound really impressed by it.
I was impressed because he was doing old school heel stuff. Yeah. Like the guy tried to put him in a figure four. He grabbed the guy's foot. He's going, no. Yeah. So that's what the sad part is. And when it got done, they did this like 360 pile driver thing where they both flipped and he lost because he's the heel. But man, that was impressive too. And when it was over, I was like, I just realized that dude had more charisma than anybody I've seen in WWE for 10 years. Yeah. And he's a radio show host.
Yeah.
But Bill, if you get a chance, I'd love to get your opinion of the match if you could catch it on YouTube or something.
You can catch it on a lot of it on ESPN, yeah.
I went back on after talking to you. I went onto YouTube and caught. I didn't catch the entire match, but I caught like a pretty long highlight show of it, and then I went back and watched a little bit of the backstory on how they got there, and yet he's classic loudmouth heel.
Yeah,
it's like he's right out of the old school bad guy rule book we used to talk about.
Yeah, he'd slide out of the ring, be like, no, you know. But he also strutting, yelling. It was fucking hilarious. Anyway, sorry, Bill.
He's not exaggerating. In one 10 or 15 minute match, he seemed to show more charisma than I think I've seen in the last year and a half that we watched WWE before we stopped.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was the only one that wasn't in. And I'm not sure if they script them in NXT the way that they do in the main shows, but he doesn't seem scripted at all. They probably just let him do his thing.
Yeah, he even had like a promo beforehand. He's like flexing his leg. Strongest leg in the nation will kick your face off. He's like talking shit. It was fun. It was so entertaining.
Did they show the part that actually started the... I saw in the backstory there was some kind of the two of the Undisputed Era were having a tag team title match, and McAfee was like a guest announcer, and he's just talking trash about Adam Cole the entire match.
Yeah, calling him
and Cole's like 20 feet away. He's like, I can hear you, asshole. You know. They end up getting into a situation where Cole reaches over across the announce table, kind of leans over, and McAfee just runs up and punt kicks him.
Right in the face.
First of all, it was that one punt kick was better than any punt kick I've ever seen Randy Orton do in his entire career. Like, it was. I mean, even the punt kick he pulled off, it looked real. Yeah. I mean, if I'm WWE, I'm trying to get him on contract and get him on the roster.
I'm telling you, he's the most entertaining dude I've seen in months. And they said he's been training for 2-3 months to do this.
Oh, okay.
So he took it seriously, and he's been a WWE fan since he was a kid like us.
Okay.
So he was all into it. Fucking enjoyed it. And I tell you what, everything went downhill after that. So, I'll tell you that right now.
So this is the night before.
This is the night before, and I have to say I enjoyed it immensely. I know I got a little bit of man crush on the guy or whatever else, but I'm telling you, watch it. He did some old school heel shit, and he's doing flips off the fucking top. This is this guy's first ever match. He's doing flips off the top rope, superplexes. It's like, what the fuck? Adam Cole's a good wrestler too. I'm not gonna take anything away from him.
He's very small though.
But the dude is tiny.
Yeah.
I don't know about no fucking 180, but it was good. I mean, because this dude's a punter and he was just massively bigger than this Adam Cole. So it makes you wonder what the rest of the size of NFL guys are.
You just realize these freak athletes, man, that are in the NFL. Dude. And again, Hard Knocks. They show Aaron Donald and how he was freaking just working out like a madman there. Holy shit, Steve.
Did you hear
dude's a monster.
So you listen to the show a lot. Did you hear the story?
I catch it here and there all the time.
The story about Troy Polamalu, did you hear that one?
No, not yet.
So the Colts had a fake field goal set up, and it's in Pittsburgh Steelers stadium. And if he sees a certain thing, because he's the holder, he's to automatically do it because it'll be an automatic touchdown. And against the Steelers, they always line up a certain way to the right. And
see, again, that's that inside baseball stuff.
Yeah. And so he's like, here it was. I think it was a Monday night or Sunday night game, national TV. Here's his moment to shine. He's like, I'm going to score my first fucking touchdown in the NFL. I was so goddamn excited. For whatever reason, Troy Polamalu decided to line up the opposite in the hole he's going to run into. He said he's never done that in his life. And that was the one time. So they called off the fake. He goes, I never got to score a touchdown because of goddamn Troy Polamalu. And then they interviewed Troy Polamalu about it. He goes, I just lined up there because, God told me to. That's what he said. Pat McAfee's all pissed at him. It was a funny story. But anyway, I love the guy. I'm telling you, it was a great match.
Real quick, just so that if you think my observation of his height and weight, Adam Cole's height and weight is off, flipped really quickly onto a Google search and Wikipedia. His build height is 6 foot tall and his build weight's 210.
That's a goddamn lie.
So if you think I'm off.
Yeah, that's such a lie.
What third moon of Jupiter is that weight on?
So that was NXT the night before. We watched that match, and then we got to the SummerSlam, right? Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you...
It's all downhill from there.
Yeah. I'll give them a point or a couple points because of the Thunderdome thing. So they essentially they left the proving grounds or whatever the fuck it is they usually wrestle at, and they made a stadium like a dome, and they put LED screens all the way around the ring, hundreds of them. And then almost like what the NBA has, but it's closer and all around them.
It's very claustrophobic kind of.
Yeah, and you get the crowd. People go online and they get to be in the crowd, and they pump in noise from them watching and stuff like that as well. Okay, so it was kind of cool, and it looked cool. Like there was big pillars of lights in the middle, and then when certain wrestlers would come down, like all the lights would change to their entrance and stuff. So they get a point for the stage and the setup. But
no one's ever. But let me just play devil's advocate. No one's ever said that the production value of a WWE event is not top notch.
It's always the best.
I'm never here. The only thing I just don't like is the impact camera. That's a whole other conversation me and you've had multiple times. But I'm saying, like, if you're going to go down, like, as far as their production values and all that stuff, it's second to none. It really is behind very little sports.
So you want to go even more insane now with the cameraman?
Oh, Jesus.
Derek, the guy who's friends with Gabe, pointed it out, and once he pointed it out, I could not see it. Okay, you know the camera trick where they move it with the kick.
Oh, it drives me nuts.
There's another thing they do now. So they are constantly jumping from camera to camera to camera to camera to camera every 3 to 4 seconds. And I didn't realize it till that fucking guy mentioned it, and that's all I could see.
Why were you going on a rant about how I hated the impact camera or something?
No, they brought up camera angles, and I did bring up your rant about the impact, about the moving with it. So, like, say you're going to
do they agree? I mean, what is their thoughts?
Oh, no, they totally agree with that.
It's like, what?
But they pointed out the camera jumping. So, like, Ahsoka is going to put on a figure 4. They'll show it from this side, and then 3 seconds later from this side, this side, this side, this side, this side. And then once you see it and realize what they're doing, it drives you bananas.
You're just like, why are they flipping so much?
I wish they would have never told me that, because now I'm fucking catching it every time. I was like, son of a bitch.
They're moving so much.
Yes. So, yeah, now they've mentioned that. So to go along with your annoying jitter camera.
Oh, I hate
did I say her name wrong?
Camera.
I said Ahsoka, didn't I? What is it?
It's Asuka.
Asuka.
Yeah.
I always say Ahsoka.
Another quick note really quickly, the Thunderdome that they've set up, they've essentially rented out the Amway Center, which is where the Orlando Magic play their home games for like the foreseeable future.
Oh, yeah.
So,
so, that's how they can put that big production
locations.
piece in there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the stage is cool. I'll give him a couple points. I give him a couple points for the McAfee match, but that was from the day before, not even on SummerSlam, so they don't get those points. Now, the one match I missed because we watched McAfee instead, there was a pre-show match. Apollo Crews was the United States Championship versus MVP.
MVP being
the old MVP from 2010 that's been around for years. You don't know who MVP is? Montavious something Porter, some his name.
You're not missing.
Yeah. He's older now. He runs a faction with Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, which those two guys are 10 times better wrestlers than him. But this guy MVP can talk, so he should be a manager, which it kind of is. But for some reason, he's wrestling all the time. I don't know. The other two just stand there. But MVP lost to Apollo Crews. Yeah, who cares? So I missed that match. So I can't tell you if
left a lasting impact on Steve.
So the opening match at SummerSlam was Bayley versus Asuka, and Asuka's going to wrestle twice in the same night.
Congratulations on getting the name right.
I finally got it right.
BB was waiting to check you on it.
Bayley is the SmackDown Women's Champion. Asuka's the challenger, and Sasha Banks is in Bayley's corner, and she's the Raw Women's Champion. And this match went on for about 25 minutes. And it's female wrestling.
Bayley's the happy-go-lucky chick, right?
Well, now she's a heel, so she's got black hair now, and she's very mean, I guess. I don't know. Oh, right off the bat, it's dragging. I'm like, just 25 minutes long. Asuka's a good wrestler. Bayley's okay. Bayley wins. I forget how. Who cares? It's over. Then the Bayley and Sasha beat up.
Hold on. Did you watch any of this?
No, I didn't see it.
Do you regret not seeing any of it?
Not even slightly.
So Asuka loses, Bayley wins, women's match, great, goodbye. Now, the Street Profits, I like these guys. They're funny guys. They got the cups and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're wrestling Andrade and Angel Garza. Now, when I quit watching in WrestleMania, they were wrestling these guys then. So they're still wrestling the same guys.
They haven't moved that storyline
Holy
much.
Christ. The only thing cool about this match is when the Street Profits come down, they're always drinking out of red Solo cups. So instead of fireworks, they had a whole ocean of red Solo cups come down from the roof. That was kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. That's all I got. Same match. I've seen 5,000 times. Street Profits won. They maintained the title. Nothing extraordinary happened in that match. It was terrible. So then that was about 20 minutes long. So now Mandy Rose is wrestling Sonya Deville, and the loser leaves WWE. Their career's over or whatever. Mandy Rose is this hot blonde. Sonya Deville is a brunette or dark hair. She's a lesbian. Now, side note on Sonya Deville. Last week, her house was broken into by a stalker. Dude showed up with a knife and she was home, but she got out and called the cops before he got her.
Wow.
And so that's a side note.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, it is pretty scary. And because Dave and Chuck the Freak were talking about it, and they're like, How did they find her address? It's funny. They Google searched her name. Her address came up in 10 seconds.
Jeez.
So she needs to go out and hide her address a little better. But this was a 25-minute hardcore female match. Oh, my God. There were so many botched moves and such terribleness. Mandy Rose ends up winning. And so Sonya Deville's lost her job, but I imagine she's taking care of the stuff. She's moving and getting her.
Yeah, get the hell out of there. Unlisting from Google.
Yeah, so... Another terrible match. I wouldn't even give this a half star. It was just bad. And then Otis comes down. He's like dating Mandy Rose or whatever. I don't know what's going on there. Now, this next one pisses me off. This just pisses me off. Dominic Mysterio is Rey Mysterio's son.
He's just laughing.
He's 18 years old. Seth Rollins, you know who Seth Rollins is, right? He's got the beard. Yeah. He's a good wrestler. He's really good. He's got this new gimmick where he's
what he is right now. But go ahead.
Yeah, he's a Monday Night Messiah. He's supposed to be some cult leader type guy, and this guy can really put on matches. And they put him in a match with Rey Mysterio's son. This went on for another half hour. Terrible. It was just terrible. I can't think of any redeeming quality
the
of it.
best part is all of wrestling is just terrible, but you keep picking at individual matches. It
was just of all the people they could have,
it's all terrible.
He could have wrestled AJ Styles. He could have wrestled fucking Sheamus. He could have wrestled even Kevin Owens. None of these guys were wrestling that night, but I had to watch him wrestle Dominic Mysterio. God, that was terrible. It was a half hour of bullshit, and then he wins. Who cares? Next, Sasha Banks comes out. Raw champion versus Asuka. She's hurt because they jumped her earlier. This is a by the numbers match. They both of them do submission moves, so they're swapping submission moves back and forth. Asuka pulls it out and wins the belt. That was another 20 minutes of my life I won't get back. That was over. Nobody cared. Now, this one is the one I was looking forward to. Drew McIntyre takes on Randy Orton. Now, Randy Orton can still wrestle. He's a pretty good wrestler. He's got the RKO. Yeah. Drew McIntyre's that big dude, that big Scottish dude. Yeah. He has the...
he was the champ when Lesnar dropped it for him and all that kind of stuff, right?
He hits the Claymore.
Yep.
You know, stuff like that. So this should be a good match. And it was... Like, they played up Randy Orton's psychology. Like, he's always pulling dirty tricks and stuff. And so Drew McIntyre had to get out of the ring and like, collect himself sometimes because Randy Orton's always pulling shit on him, you know, and stuff. Whatever. And the match went back and forth. But then it ended on a backslide. You know what a backslide is? That's where they hook each other's arms. No main moves. I saw no RKOs and no Claymores. On a fucking backslide is how it ended. I was like, are you kidding me? So that gets at 1. It was bullshit. And then finally, in the main event, your favorite wrestler, The Fiend, comes out.
Oh, The Fiend is terrible.
For the record, they don't turn the red light on anymore.
Does he do the weird intro thing?
Still does the weird intro, but they don't. Remember when they made him wrestling all in red? Yeah, they don't do that anymore. And Braun Strowman's got a shaved head with a giant beard. He looks like a weird version of Big Show. And it was a no disqualification match, so it was barely any moves. Now, I will say The Fiend wears like these like Joker pants, and he wears a black singlet. Well, when he came back from wrestling from his injury, he was in a lot better shape. He's gained a few lbs, so his pants are barely like he's hanging out. He's got to do a Bergeron to resize himself.
Oh man!
I said, I can focus on the whole time watching. I'm like, man, Bray Wyatt eat some cheeseburgers. Not knocking him, I'm a big fat guy too, but I'm just saying you might get some bigger pants.
I don't wrestle pro wrestling.
Yeah, you might want to get bigger pants. It went back and forth, and they hit each other with everything, and then. Fiend wins. Braun Strowman cut the mat and pulled it up so it's just wood, and then he's gonna put the Fiend on the thing, and the Fiend reverses it, hit a bunch of moves on it, and won. The only thing I say, the most impressive thing. So if I had to guess, Bray Wyatt's probably 330 pounds, big guy. Braun Strowman lifted him up like a sack of potatoes right up on his shoulder at one point, like boop, and then did the slam thing. With ease. Even the guys in the room were like,
that guy's a huge dude. There's no doubt he's powerful.
He was a legit strongman circuit competitor. That's what Mark Henry found him on the strongman circuit. And brought him into wrestling.
Well, he proved it in that match.
He's legit.
To deadlift 330 pounds up onto your shoulder of a human and then just slam. I was like, because that was early in the match he did that. I was like, damn, that's impressive. But at the end of it all, so you think it's over. The Fiend won the title, blah, blah, blah. Roman Reigns pops out of nowhere. He is jacked. You can tell he's been just working out since he hasn't been in the WWE.
Bigger, stronger, faster, right there.
Yeah. So if he's
been eating his vitamins and saying his prayers.
If he was 270 when he left, he's probably 280 now, but 20 pounds of it converted to muscle. Yeah, he's got the V shape. He's jacked, and he bleached it. His teeth are white as fuck. His teeth. He went to the same doctor The Rock goes to because he got some white fucking teeth. We were all like, wow, his teeth are white. But he's got a cool shirt.
He's got a cool shirt.
It says wreck everything and leave. That's the coolest shirt Roman Reigns ever had. That was kind of cool. So he comes out, he spears Fiend a couple times, beats the shit out of Braun Strowman, holds the title over Fiend, said, "This is mine, bitch," and then drops it and walks out, and that's how it ends. So that was the big surprise.
Are you intrigued to see this continue?
No, I'm done. So I'm gonna give him a point for the new show stage. Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton, I give him maybe 1 point. And Pat McAfee, I'll give him 2 points, but that wasn't on the SummerSlam. So 2 out of 10 for SummerSlam. I'm sorry.
2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. It's terrible. I'll try again at Royal Rumble time and see if anything gets better, but it's not looking good. Not looking good. So there's some new shows out this week. Not a lot this week, but I thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, one's moving over, I see.
Yes.
Looks like.
So now this one had a cult following on Fox. Yeah. A lot of women like this one. They really love that dude who plays Lucifer. The show Lucifer season 5 is transferred over to Netflix. A lot of people have crushes on him. I'm not a big fan. I've never seen the show, so I'm a no. Bill, what do you think of Lucifer?
Not interested at all.
And Charles?
I know of it. I'm not interested at all either on my TVB.
All right. Now, this one came over from YouTube because I think YouTube's shit canning their originals, and that's probably why they're selling them off. Cobra Kai Season 1 and 2. I watched both seasons. I really preferred the first one over the second one.
You were super lukewarm on the second one.
Yeah, the first one's really good.
We've talked about them on
and
the
third season is supposed to be coming to Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
So I'll probably watch the third season hoping they fixed
The first season was very good. I was entertained by the first season
Yeah.
of it. You turned me on to that. I never caught season 2, but I definitely liked
probably
the first
season 2, it pivots and focuses more on the kids than it does the two
okay.
guys you wanted to
Yeah.
focus on. So I'm a no because I've already seen them, but I will watch season 3. Bill, any interest in Cobra Kai?
I'm very interested in this. I saw the first. When it first came out, YouTube had, I think, was it the first 2 or 3 episodes free. And I watched those and it sucked me in, but not enough to pay for the YouTube service to see it. So I'll be interested to see what the rest of you saw a year or 2 ago. So yeah, I'll definitely be watching those 2 seasons.
So I watched the first season and liked it a lot. You said the second season is kind of lukewarm, but I'll definitely catch 2 and 3. I thought they were good. It's a good show.
Yeah. Now, next up, this is a Hulu movie with Vince Vaughn in it, and the kid that was in the latest Vacation movie. I can't think of it. You'll recognize him since he's got the freckles. He was on the Gemstones. Played the one son.
Yeah.
So what?
He's in everything. Wasn't he in Shameless?
Yeah, he shows up a lot.
He's in everything. He's like the Itzo factor, like weird 19-year-old.
Yeah, he's playing a high school kid in this one. So basically, in the future, instead of the purge, we have the binge. All alcohol and drugs are banned in the country, but one day a year, everyone gets to get drunk and laid and get high. And so these underage kids are going to try to do that their senior year of high school, and hilarity ensues. And Vince Vaughn plays.
Oh, it is funny.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a comedy. So and Vince Vaughn plays the principal. So I've been burned 3 times now on Hulu movies. I love Vince Vaughn.
I love Vince Vaughn.
The concept's kind of funny, so I'm gonna try again. If I get burned again, I'm done with goddamn Hulu. I'm a yes. Bill,
I'm still kind of a what, but
I kind of described
maybe
everything. I didn't leave anything out, did I?
Yeah, I don't know. You're checking a lot of boxes for me too. I have Hulu. I don't know if I have time for that. I can watch some more steroid documentaries or something like that. But funny Vince Vaughn, I'm into. So yeah, I'm interested. I would say.
I've been burned so many times.
Yeah, it's a tough. Yeah,
and
I might wait to listen to what you have to say.
You're gonna let me be the sacrificial lamb. All right, so that's really it for this week. Not a lot of new stuff. Charles, what's happening in Punch Your Face Land?
Yeah, so just kind of a real quick recapper for last Saturday's event. There was a UFC fight night that took place. Frankie Edgar fought Pedro Munoz. I watched this event.
Any relation to Anthony Munoz?
I don't believe so. Spelled differently.
Oh, well, maybe a distant cousin.
This came down to a decision, and I got to tell you, a lot of people are up in arms because Frankie Edgar got the nod. I don't agree with this. I think that it went to Pedro Munoz, and I'm with most of the people with the uproar. I feel like that they want to give Frankie Edgar a little bit of a pub and a push, and I think that that's kind of what it was. I'm not saying that the UFC is rigging the judges because Lord only knows they can't do it, and it's all over the place, but this was a little suspect to me. I'll be honest with you.
Do you feel that the judges were not Bengals fans?
Yes, that's exactly it. Or they didn't like his plus-size men's clothing available exclusively at Meijer.
Yes.
So anyway, that was a bit of a controversy that was happening. I thought that was interesting to bring up. And then the other one this Saturday coming up is a decent event too. We got Anthony Lionheart Smith versus Alexander Rakic. They really want Anthony Smith to be way better than he is. But every time I tune in and watch this guy, he loses. It's one of those funny things that the UFC, I talk about it at this point on countless of these shows me and you've done. Every time the UFC has these poster boys that they want to push, and it just doesn't work. No one tells the other guy.
Fun fact, I have the name Lionheart tattooed on my inner thigh.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay, just like based after the Jean-Claude Van Damme. And then on that same card, Robbie Lawler is going to fight Neil Maney, which is a pretty good fight too. So I'll check in. I'll tune in on that. I watch more of that than I do the playoff hockey and basketball, so that's what I do.
One last question. Is Robbie Lawler related to Jerry Lawler?
No, not that I'm aware of, but yeah.
Missing a lot of connections there.
One more fun fact, Steve also has Attila tattooed on the back of his ass.
Well, there's that. We've learned a lot here today, and I feel like
I got a lot of hidden tattoos.
Is
what I'm trying to tell
the show's
everyone.
knowledge base.
He's an old Van Damme movie fan.
Yeah, I like him. All right, Bill, are you a big fan of Ellen?
You mean as in DeGeneres?
Yes.
How many Ellens are there? Ellen Page, right?
Yeah. Are you a big fan of Ellen Page?
No.
So Bill is a huge fan of Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
But not a lot of people are right now.
I think she's an asshole in real life, and that's basically what's coming to light.
Yes.
Everyone refuses to believe that their sweetheart, like,
does
Hollywood
that make
personal type is not a dick.
Does that make you a bigger asshole when your one persona is such a friendly, nice person, and then you're a dick in real life? Does that make you a bigger asshole?
Yeah, I think so.
Then like Barkley.
Not only are you an asshole, but you're a super fake asshole.
Yeah,
because
Barkley's an asshole 24/7, doesn't care. So not a lot of people give him shit. Like, well, that's just Charles Barkley.
I just love Charles Barkley.
Well, but a lot of people consider him to be an asshole. Or whatever.
I get you. But he's nice to people. Sounds like Ellen's vile to regular people. Like everyday working man is kind of shitty to him, you know. And that's I'll be honest with you. Just cancel her show. Who gives a shit? Her show's terrible.
She's doing
her show is terrible.
Damage control right now.
Put Pat McAfee.
You put Pat McAfee on the Ellen DeGeneres show. I'll watch the shit out of that. I'll skip work to watch that.
Let's sign a petition. We're starting the Pat McAfee to replace Ellen DeGeneres petition.
Yeah. So Ellen DeGeneres is doing damage control right now by firing 3 of the producers.
Yeah, she's blaming all the weird, harsh work environment on like executive producer slots, and it's like a typical dirtbag move, you know? Like, don't look at me, look at this, you know? Like, how many of us in our everyday jobs have these type of people?
Bill, can you look up or tell me how old Ellen DeGeneres is?
Oh, she's hold on. Let's play the game. Before BV looks it up, before you look it up, BV, let's go around the room.
I haven't looked it up yet.
Give me a number, BV. How old is Ellen DeGeneres, wife of Portia de Rossi?
56.
Steve, what do you got?
I'm going to say 62.
62? I think she's 57. BV?
Well, you just dropped like the $1 on me there.
No, what a dick.
Whoa, hold on.
What does that mean? She's 74.
She's only 35.
No. She is 62.
Oh, I nailed it.
Man.
That's a complete guess. I didn't know that ahead of time.
So then tell her ass to retire.
That's what my point would be.
How the hell old is Portia de Rossi now? I'm curious.
I don't know. She's attractive, though.
Portia de Rossi is 47.
Oh, man. Dude, got that cougar.
Well, she is like the cooch whisperer.
The Cooch Whisperer. That was BB's nickname in high school.
No, that was Ellen's thing for years. She could like turn any freaking straight woman into a lesbian.
Well, Anne Heche don't count because she don't know what she is.
Anne Heche. Did you just bring up Anne Heche?
That was the one she converted, I guess. So, anyways, Ellen doing a lot of damage control. Really, all daytime TV sucks anyway, so who really cares? I think we should just put Pat McAfee on every show on daytime, except for The Price is Right, because Drew Carey's pretty good on that.
We've had kind of conversations on this show in the past, like
about Ellen DeGeneres.
No, just like you're 62.
Yeah,
like do you have to continue to make tens of millions of dollars? Like you don't have enough loot that Pat McAfee can't get your times.
God damn it!
Like I don't understand.
What a great show! He'd be hosting. AJ Hawk would be on the couch,
and then they would do surprises on guests, and he would just be in the weird.
He'd punt gifts into the crowd. I'd watch the shit out of that.
I'm just saying, like it's always weird to me these people who won't hang shit up, and it's just like, how much money do you need? Like you're Ellen DeGeneres, you have more than enough loot to retire and live your life out and be completely comfortable.
Yeah, why put yourself through it all?
Yeah, I don't know why you just won't give Pat McAfee a shot.
Her estimated net worth is only $330 million.
I mean, seriously, what are we? You're 62.
How dare you imply that she has enough and should stop so others can make more?
I don't know.
And she has no kids, right? She has no kids.
And she's just a vile human being. Like, go off onto your
The money's going with her when she dies, right? Or going
I don't know. It's just a
Porsche.
weird... There's a lot of people in this world where you're just like, they're kind of shitty. Like, why are you still in the spotlight? Like, I don't get it. Like, it's a weird power trip or what it is. It's not like she's, like, worried about where her bills are going to get paid. It's so weird.
All right, boys, strap in.
Okay.
This is a big week for DC Comics, DC Universe.
The DC fandom, right?
Fandom.
Yeah.
But before that,
they were trying to do like a bit of a. They were trying to get some pub for like those.
Well, they're trying to be positive because they just fired half their crew last week. But even before that, much like movie theaters, the one thing we've been chronicling on the podcast is the slow death of the DC Universe app.
Yeah.
Every show that's original to the DC Universe app now is going to HBO Max. So, Bill, you can watch Swamp Thing on HBO Max. Aren't you excited?
Ooh.
I knew he was stoked.
I know. I saw the table rise a little bit over there. He was like, "Woo!" Yeah. But so,
can I don't want to derail you, but it's what we do on this show.
Oh, okay.
We're one big derailment. And again, we've chronicled again on the show. I've got interface issues. I hate when things. The HBO Max application or the app on my Apple TV is a disaster. I went to find my Johnny Oliver. I watch it every week. Best show on TV. Anyway, and you can't find it. It's down the list. Like there's no what's new thing, and I just reorganize that.
I
mess.
hate
it. Is a disaster.
That's the one thing I kind of like about the Disney app. They put all their new stuff on that big slide right at the top.
The Disney app hasn't had any good new content in how long?
Well, I'm just saying the app. It's easy to get around because now.
Do you still have the Disney app?
Well, we paid for 2 years in advance.
So but you just every once in a while. Let me see nothing new. All right.
Well, I keep
There's
track on here, so I know
on
when.
Yeah.
The next thing is Mulan, and I'm not paying for it. So,
$30,
and
man.
then the Mandalorian.
I gotta pay
of
for
course.
it just to piss you off,
Bastard.
just for one more nail in the old cinema coffin.
Well, before you nail it down, there are some new movies, by the way, coming out this week and next week. New Mutants is hitting theaters this week.
Oh, okay. It'll make $3.4 million in
next
all the
week,
open theaters. That Russell Crowe movie was number one with $4 million. I laughed.
That's probably $3 million more than that movie deserves. That movie looks terrible.
It's just funny to me. They won't let it go.
And the week after that, they are going to release the Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet. So we'll see if that gets
That's
people
weirdly
back in.
getting a lot of publicity. Are you interested in that?
He's one of those like directors that like,
Hit or
oh my
miss.
God, you guys see it, and then when you see it, it's like, yeah.
Did he do that weird Invincible movie or whatever with not Invincible with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah,
where the
yeah.
city folded and everything. like
yeah.
that?
What the
that
fuck
movie
was
was
the name of
completely
that?
overrated to me.
Yeah, isn't it Dreams and some other controlling
I
dreams?
wasn't into that.
I can't remember the name of that damn movie. It's gonna bug the shit out of me. Ever since Dunkirk, I haven't been a huge Christopher Nolan fan. You fucking you Pulp Fiction to war movie. You fucking drive me nuts. So, anyways, DC fandom happened this week, and these are the highlights. Inception, yes, that is exactly it. That is the Leonardo DiCaprio movie.
Yeah.
And Interstellar was his other movie with Matthew McConaughey, when they're going into space, and then when they get to space, it somehow turns into a time warp, and he's back. I don't know. It was
Whatever.
terrible.
Okay, we're not a fan of Christopher Nolan. Next. All right.
But I do like his Batman movies. But anyways, DC fandom is back. And Charles, did you see it? Did you see the new Batman trailer?
I didn't. But what I did see was the Black Adam or whatever. I saw the Rock thing on Instagram where he was teasing his thing.
You mean that motion comic where he just talked over it?
Yeah.
I don't know what that
I like
was.
his new shoes, though. See the Rock's new shoes that are coming out, the Project Under Armour stuff?
No, I did not see it.
Anyway, I didn't mean to derail your
They
DC.
probably come to size 9.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude,
it
it's
can't be
fucking-
the official shoe of the podcast. They're too expensive. We
This
like to keep it
mammoth
below
dude-
20.
This mammoth dude pimps Under Armour, nothing bigger than a 2X. Anyways, you say, well, Steve, Blue's fat. But anyways, new Batman trailer is out with Robert Pattinson.
Correct. It was a teaser, correct? It was
It's about 2 minutes long, though. I mean, you get a pretty good gist. It's very dark, very creepy. He's okay. I mean, they show him as Bruce Wayne. He's got the emo hair down like he did. But you got to see the trailer before you pass judgment.
All I'm saying is how many reboots of Batman do we need in this planet? It's getting into the Spider-Man territory where I just don't need...
Well, this one's
Like-
got Joker, Penguin, and Catwoman.
And then isn't Ben Affleck like reprising his role of Batman or something in some
but not in
level?
this, yeah. They're doing a Flashpoint
Oh, jeez.
where they merge all the universes in one.
I just realized I was talking about comic books and my head started to hurt. Can we go back to Ellen DeGeneres and Pat McAfee?
So the Batman trailer is out there. People can watch it on YouTube. I'm going to make Charles watch it right after this so we can get his opinion. And then the next thing is, are you familiar with the Snyder cut of the Justice
Yes,
League?
and this is a big thing.
This will be coming to your HBO Max, not the DC Universe app. And it's going to be a
Because
4.
nothing's coming to the DC Universe app.
And there's a 4. It's going to be a 4-part, hour long each part. So they're turning the movie almost into a series. And they showed a lot of
Are
clips
you
from
into
it.
this at all?
I'm curious. I would like to see it to see if it's going to. I got a gut feeling it's not going to be any better than what they put out. I really don't. But they showed a lot of scenes. And, of course, very dark looking, very grim looking, no humor whatsoever. All the humor sucked out. All right. And then it wasn't really a trailer. It was almost like a 2-minute behind the scenes with James Gunn with Suicide Squad 2. They were showing a lot of clips from that. John Cena's in it. He's got a big silver helmet on. I'm a diehard comic fan. I couldn't even tell you what character he's playing. so it tells me he's going to die pretty quick.
No.
The thing about Suicide Squad, it's kind of like the Dirty Dozen, where you start off with so many of them, most of them are going to die throughout the movie. So I have a feeling Cena's not going to last long because I have no idea what character he's
Does he got
play.
that new John Cena hair, that weird comb?
Well, you can't tell he's wearing a big silver helmet.
They didn't even show him without the helmet.
Yeah, so that looks pretty good. Very interested in that. Let's see that. Now, I told you before the Suicide Squad game is made by the guys from Arkham Asylum. Mm-hmm. Well, we're not getting one. We're getting 2 new games, both for the next-gen consoles, though, but they should play on the Xbox One as well. So we got Suicide Squad, and the other one is Gotham Knights. Now, Gotham Knights, if you played the last Batman game, Batman Arkham Knights, which Gotham Knights is a little close to it, he dies. Spoiler alert.
No, you can't say
he doesn't. He doesn't technically die, but the mansion blows up, and this trailer picks up with him leaving a video to Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, and Red Hood. I'm gone now, but you still have access to all my. Okay. So basically, in the game, they've come out and said
pick up his legacy.
You can either play a single player or co-op. So it's a Batman Arkham Asylum, and you can play co-op. That's pretty cool. Okay. If you have a friend who want to play that. But you don't get to be Batman. So Batman game without Batman. And it also covers the Court of Owls. So that's a look at the DC fandom. Really, outside of me, not anyone's going to be very excited about this. But they're getting it. But the only problem is all this stuff is 2021 or later. Nothing is this year. I was like, oh, man, 2020 sucks.
Just add to it, man. It's not getting any better. It just sucks all the way around. Yeah.
So that's going to hang up for the news. Now, I don't have a rant, but I have a funny story about my wife, and this is a pretty good one. So last Friday, before I decided to take off to Cincinnati, we went out to eat, and then we went to BJ's Wholesale. You familiar with BJ's Wholesale?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, over by Menards.
Yeah, we have a membership. We got it for $25. We go there every once in a while, buy some random shit. We come home.
It's at Wiggs and Joe, man. I'm Costco all the time. I can't stop it. Can't quit you, Costco. I love you.
BJ's, it's the same thing, just different name on the building. So we get back, and you know how they give you all the shit and there's no bags or boxes? We're unloading the truck.
That's the wholesale club. That's how they pass the savings onto you.
By removing the bag. If we only knew. Who knew? So anyways, we're unloading the truck, and this old lady is walking down the middle of our street. Not on the sidewalk, the middle of the street.
Well, you have kind of funky-ish sidewalks. Well, no, you have those.
Yeah, we have fine sidewalks.
Yeah.
I don't know why. She's walking down the middle of the street. If I had to guess, she's probably about 65 years old. She looks like she's walking.
She's Ellen DeGeneres' age.
Yeah, she kind of looks like Mom. She's got the Gandalf the Grey long stuff going. And then she's walking, looks like her daughter and a couple grandkids. She looks over at Michelle and starts going, Donna? Donna? And Michelle's like, you mean me? And she's like, yeah, you're Donna, right? And she goes, no, my name's Michelle. Oh, okay. You look just like the woman I graduated high school with. Said that right in front of me. Michelle's like, oh. I got in the house and died. I've been calling her Donna for a week now.
Oh, dude, all of us got to start that now.
Yeah. Ironic thing, Michelle's middle name is Donna.
Oh, so
wow.
she was like, wait a second, what?
Yeah. I was dying laughing. So I go, how was the sock hop before you graduated? So it's like Grease home videos for you at this point.
Funny. Oh,
she was so put out. Now, here's the question I got for you guys. If that happened and I wasn't there, would she have told anyone that?
Are you kidding me? She'd have just been like, some 30-year-old lady thought I went to high school with.
30 times 2.
Yeah.
Because I saw that she looked like a version of our mom. Is what she looked like.
Yeah.
And then the lady was like, oh, all right. I kept walking. I fucking lost it. I was laughing so hard. Wow. She was so put out. I was like, yeah, that's so much funny. For being carded, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
No one's confusing you with a 20-year-old.
What are you doing?
So there you go.
Funny.
I had to put it out there. So you're not going to tell anyone, are you? Oh, I'm telling everybody.
Whatever, Donna.
Yeah. So I'll be home in a minute, Donna. Just want you to know. Oh, she's going to hate me when I get home, but it's still a funny story. Anything else this week, guys?
I'm good. BV, you got anything brewing in Illinois?
Not really, no.
You got one of those.
How's work going? Tell the world.
Still busy. Still waiting, for a few more months before they drop the bomb on a quarter of the company. But
wow, no pressure.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
All right. So, and again, we want to preview for next week. We're going to have the girls here, Fatima and
We're
Holly.
a full house. We're going to have 5 people on the show.
Yeah, it's going to be
next week.
insanity. Holly's going to recap her wisdom teeth. And Fatima's going to tell you all about her grandfather's restaurant.
Okay.
And then we got some other tidbits coming. So it should be a lot of fun.
We're going to come from Saturday is what we're going to try.
Saturday around 7 next week.
To their, to what do you call it? To their high school, going back to high school for the
Yeah,
year
we
and everything.
would like to get some of their opinions on stuff. We know Holly's. Like to hear what Fatima's is. So she probably doesn't care.
We'll see if she actually takes first place in whatever Fall Guy by that time.
Yeah, we'll see what they think of Fall Guy and everything else next week on the podcast. But until then, and like I said, if you're going on a road trip, this podcast makes a great companion.
Yeah, because we babble on for a couple hours.
It'll get your road trip right through it super quick.
And then real quick, before you cut off, so we're going to put up a petition to get Pat McAfee.
Alex Anderson's job.
We'll put that up on the show notes and everything like that.
Yeah, you could have like random NXT guy just come in and jump him while he's doing his monologue.
And I'm sure all the housewives that watch Ellen would really translate to Pat McAfee.
Same crowd, pretty sure.
Yeah.
All right. So, as always, you can catch us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Pandora, anywhere you can get us on Toaster.com. We're all over the place.
Get us
Stitcher.
on your LG refrigerator.
Yeah, and unless you're Gabe Wigington, you can play it on any phone.
Still got to show them how to use the phone.
Yeah, so on Google, I use the little podcast app. It's great. You can also subscribe to Joe Rogan and Leo Laporte, the tech guy.
Oh, I like Leo Laporte.
Yeah,
Big
he's still
fan
around,
of
still
Leo.
doing
yeah,
it. He has such a mellow voice when he does it.
He's an old radio guy back in the day, but I love Tech TV back in the day.
Yeah, I still listen to him every once in a while. I got to get it on when it's live. I'm going to call in and just have him pimp our website or something. Hey, I've been working on this WordPress site. What do you think of it?
Also let him know about the petition.
Yeah, from Pat McAfee. Yeah, we'll do that. So until next week, this is Steve
And it's Charles.
and BV. Catch you next time.